2 hours to go in the trading session. Welcome to the close. We'll take you right through to 4 o'clock. What a day it's been. Volatility for the futures overall, back and forth a little bit here. We have a ton of individual names to talk about this afternoon. Let's jump right into things. Here we go. 0.2 for the S&P to the downside, about the same, actually exactly the same to the upside for the Dow right now. The NASDAQ, a full percent in negative territory. TSX futures here in Toronto, positive on the day. Nice to see. So is Brazil. Big move down for cryptocurrencies. It's Ethereum, guys, leading the way once again today, 7.5% versus Bitcoin, 3.5%. We're going to talk about Digital World Acquisition Corporation here. That was the main story of the day coming into the afternoon. Why don't we do this? We'll have a look at how things are shaping up on the overall S&P 500. 0.2 right now, as I mentioned, it is communication stocks that are offsetting an otherwise pretty weak day here. Discovery, positive news today, positive move. You can look at A or you can look at K. The A shares doing significantly more volume, though, 17% to the upside for both. That has Viacom back in positive territory, Dish as well. LUMN, a couple of upgrades, multiple upgrades on that one today, up about 5%. There's Netflix, wanted to point that out, 2% to the downside. Tech shares are leading to the downside for the overall market. Same story for consumer discretionary stocks, although some of the travel names back in the green, the cruise lines, all three of them there. Nice day, about 5% across the board. Airlines are higher as well. Quick look at the NASDAQ here before we get into some individual trades. You can see Chinese stocks having a pretty good day here again. Pinduoduo back to the upside, about 9%. There's Lucid, big move this afternoon for Lucid, but it is both the semiconductors and software makers that are leading to the downside. As we do every day about this time, we'll kick things off with a look at what was potential ideas, potential setups heading into the open this morning. If you joined us at 8:30, we discuss every single morning at 8:30, guys, all the names that are moving around in the pre-market and why. Get you set for the open. We're going to kick things off here with a look at a trade from Neil.
Yes, sir. We're going to talk a little GameStop entering the NFT game and causing a bit of a stir. There was a huge monster move after market and a lot of momentum coming into this, and everyone was sort of interested to see if it could follow through. We're going to learn some lessons about this trade because it's going to be an overall winner, but I don't just want to focus on the actual trade itself. I want to focus on not getting caught up and married to a direction and possible things we can do even better next time. So let's always start with the higher time frame. Look, you got your 15-minute chart up here, and we can see you already had resistance at 158 to 160, two big key levels in the last couple of sessions, big down move, and then we get the aftermarket news that, hey, launching into NFTs, that's all you need for a headline these days to get a bit of a pump, and we get to move right into that 158 level. So that's the setup coming into the morning. We were actually testing below that price, setting us up for a break at that 158. Now, I know the last few weeks, breakout trades have not been the best way to go long. Buying dips has usually been a little bit better. So when taking this breakout, learning from that lesson, I said to myself, the first out has to be in front of that 160 level, and then I wanted the first turn to just take my profit. So it makes a high, first red candle, I'm essentially getting out right there, and then looking to see if it holds support. There was never a chance that it did that. But here's where you can always do better. Don't get married to one side of the trade. Once it broke below that 158 I should say, should have been looking for a short, because what happens? That same level of resistance from before, that 158 multi-level resistance where you had a fall of near 20% plus, that turns into resistance once again. And once that happens, you need to be looking for a short trade. As a matter of fact, 143 then ends up being another good spot that you could find on the daily chart. And I'm a guy who likes to short things all the time. So you can't just sit there and say, okay, good news, I won in a long trade, my day is done. We dodged a bullet, but we should have done better. Should have noticed that our good level turned into a golden level on the short side of the trade. Obviously disappointment for people who thought this news was going to launch it. Maybe it's done, maybe it's not done. Let us know. I'd always love to hear people's thoughts. Did you catch that short? Did you not even go into the long? Did you trade something else? But you have to be able to get better every single day, even when measuring your winners. It's about how you do better.
And it's about having a plan, guys. We get you set, as I mentioned, every single morning going into the open. That is the link to the absolutely free watch list we send out every morning before we come on at 8:30. You can use the QR code there if you're really quick. with your phone as well. It'll take you right to that list. All you need is an email address, and you can have that for free every single day. It had all these names on it this morning. I want to start with a look at a few things we were talking about if you joined us at 8:30. Yeah, the meme stocks were back this morning in a big way, coming off of a headline from GameStop here. They're developing an NFT and crypto marketplace. So a big move for GME, both in the afternoon yesterday and also this morning in the pre-market. Ends up being a far more exciting trade than this one. Digital World Acquisition Corporation, as we said, Trump stock, Trump media stock, big move up late in the day yesterday. Ends up being not much to see here, guys. We're down 10.5% and kind of struggling here to do much of anything going into the afternoon.
Yeah, like what a nothing burger that ended up being. Like you talked about it yesterday. Like yesterday was your chance to take it when the news came out and Sean had a couple of longs in there. And then it tried to come back and hold that 55 level, which was the secondary breakout was that previous resistance. It tried to hold that. It never did. And once it broke, that was the end of your story. So look, maybe this is something that when there's maybe, I don't know, better news or maybe an affirmation, a second source that this is for sure happening on President's Day, maybe it'll get another leg to it. But it looks like this one is going to be done for the day. The volume, you know what? The volume was never really there in the first place. One of the things that we noted when we sat down this morning was it was a lack or at least a disappointing amount of volume in both GameStop and DWAC. So that could have been a hint that maybe they weren't going to run this much, and they never had any kind of a bid. I mean, they caught a bid for support, but that's down a good $3 or $4 from what we were seeing in the pre-market. So a bit of a nothing burger here, and the low volume gave you a hint of that. Might not be done, this story, I'm sure, as we get closer to that potential date, February 21st, when the launch will happen, you could see this pick back up again. Until then, you got to trade what moves, and it's just EVs, man. Like, you stick with the EVs and the higher flyer names. Those have been the real movers in the market. I thought today was going to be different, trading both DWAC and GameStop early, and hey, that was the wrong place to be today. Unless you're short.
Yeah, guys, just spin it. I mean, I saw that Trader Brad had that great short there in Rivian. I should have had that short as well, but instead we just cash money here on Lucid. A good trade here. It's right back down to VWAP. We could possibly get this out. We're in the money now, $2.10. It just went parabolic. Like, we were watching this. There was no real other name doing this. Lucid starts the move at 38.50 and rips to 43.50. We didn't start shorting it into about 42. So you can see there's a bunch of shorts in here and a bunch of outs. These are all losers until this started to happen. We take a short 43, well, 42.80. We take another short 43.25. And I was willing to give this, I don't know how far. I mean, I could have lost a lot of money here. It reverses all the way back down, and now we're cruising with a beautiful trade on Lucid. Just wish we had more shares, but it's bouncing around right now. Lucid, yeah, Brendan, I mean, 100%. If you're trading names that are moving, there's lots to do, but you got to find those names. Lucid today on a tear upside. Volume started picking up, and I don't know, it just took off. And then on the sticky note, of course, which this is the craziest thing, I was actually sitting here watching Trader Pratt have this stock, that have Rivian, and it went right up to $90 again. We talked about that. That's the short that we wanted in Rivian, and unfortunately, we were trading Lucid, and I was just like, do I want to multiply this problem? But look where it went to. 89.20 or so, giving us right where we should have been short, and a beautiful move back down for Rivian. So there's lots of stuff happening. You just got to sort of find the winners, find the action, and stay there. So that's what we'll do, and that's why we keep on, I look at yesterday's sticky note. Beyond Meat, right? Rivian, Palantir, bank stocks, DraftKings. Today's DWAC, AMC, Rivian, DraftKings. It's a lot of the same talk, right? And by the way, check out DraftKings right now. That's barcoding, but we had a monster trade there and some great outs down here at 26.50. So, yep, lots to happen, lots going on here, and I'm glad you're rejoining us for what is the last 2 hours of what's been a tumultuous,
another schoolwork,
not bad, week.
Impressive. Impressive. Friday afternoon word. The other, I guess, major headline this morning that everyone was kind of waiting for and ends up being, not much to see here either. I mean, this is a big miss for this employment number. If you go to the calendar here, we'll show you one more time. If you missed it, it was actually 422 expected, comes out 199, so less than half on the non-farm payrolls there for December. That was the main catalyst for the move down. But as we've seen, a lot of these stocks, individual stocks, right back up and then right back down again. So two-way action all over the place. Interesting headline here for pizza. Papa John's shares up 3% after a deal with a company too. There you go. To move into China, guys, you can now get Papa John's pizza if you're over in China.
Give me that. Get that. Get ready, Neil. Here comes again.
The only thing I'm going to say about pizza, you know what's not on that pie. That's all you need to know. Yeah, and every single time making the catch. Although, if you I say this a lot. Well, not a lot, but every now and then, when we played ball together in high school, the baseball pass for the game-winning shot was the other way around.
Yeah.
I was throwing it. If you guys have ever seen
I don't think people understand how far back.
If anyone's ever, it goes way far back. And if you've ever seen Grant Hill, the Christian Leitner, I'm not making this up. We were down 1. I think it was the Humberview. And we had 10 seconds left to 5, whatever it was.
And
it was baseball pass to Sean at the top of the key, and he did the turnaround jump shot for the win. No word of a lie. We were back in I forget what grade it was, but either way. Usually it's the other way around. There's no pineapple on that pizza, and that's all that matters.
There it is.
Boing. Boom. And I've never had Papa John's, by the way. Never. Not once.
Okay, so I had Papa John's, I think, one time when we were going down for an NCAA tournament there. And, we were eating not very healthy at that time. But I don't even remember what we were talking about. So
Papa John's.
Oh, yeah, Papa John's Pizza. Okay. Wow, this is going to be fun. Justin Kozach is going to be coming through very soon as well. That should be fun. But what a wild ride. Oh, I wanted to address this because, first of all, I feel like this Tyler person's not real, but I'm going to ban you soon if you keep on doing this. You're 14 years old. That's fine. You are not immune to the ban hammer. But right now, we'll talk about this quickly. You are on a custodial account, okay? You're long Apple 171.68. What do I think about that? Again, good idea. I just think that Apple is a name where you're not, forget about, I don't even need to look at a minute chart here, more of a daily chart. Oh yeah, that's right, my daily charts are gone. Look, I think Apple's a name that you just continue to buy, Tyler, and then as long as if it keeps going down, you literally just buy more of it. Apple has been such a monster throughout my whole life, and I think that it's going to be the same through yours. You're 14 years old. I would say you buy Apple, you buy the NQs, so the QQQs, and you buy the SPYs, and you buy some dividend stocks. And if you did really need some help, Tyler, I'm sure that you have social media. Message me at TraderTV Sean. I'd be more than happy to help you build a portfolio because I've been doing it with I have a 20-year-old now, but I've been doing it with him since he was a wee one. And I'm teaching now my little ones the same thing. So, I'll help you out with anything. And send me a message at TraderTV Sean. But you want to pick up some dividend stocks, obviously, if you're starting to build a portfolio. And I would just buy Apple on any dip. And if you're nervous about where to buy Apple, let it just look at the 50-period moving average on the daily chart. And anytime you're around there, drop in a little bit more cash.
You can't go wrong with Apple at all. We had a question on there. Dominic, we're going to get to that crazy IPO. I was trading it rather heavily, and it was an interesting ride. And it's kind of hilarious when I look back on it. But there was a question about BFRI. They're asking when I shorted it. So during the midday mover, Shoshan and I are still usually sitting here trading. So I know Trader Prad was talking about this. I came on briefly to discuss when this halted to the upside, and then it failed right at $6. And I'll show you. A lot of times you just look to the first level when something goes parabolic. It halts up, and then it reopens and tries to take out this level from just a couple of days ago at $6. So that's an easy fail point. It doesn't even get there. It gets to $5.95. Once I see that happen, this is it. It goes to $5.95, comes back down, tries to consolidate, pops. The second it tries to go up there again, it's just grab the short and then hold it into VWAP a couple times. When it finally capitulated, literally a few minutes ago, I just covered the last of it at 522. And then the other one, which the hilarious part about this chart is I'm down an hour, and you probably can't even tell where I lost. The entire amount I'm down an hour is right here. Long at 7. And then out at 675. And you'll ask yourself, how is it here when it's moving 50 cents there and then getting stopped out at the top, or moving here when it goes on 50 or $1, and I'm having tight stops here for loser, like a 20-cent loss here, and then we're in the money, making money again, and then we have another tight stop here in a short and a tight stop in a short. The halt trade, when we talk about taking a halt trade, You can get it on this Halt. What we're doing is a stock will go into that band where it's going to hit the circuit breaker and it has 15 seconds before it halts. So the bid piles up and you can't hit the offer. In that situation, all you can do is bid, and you want to go long in the Halt and then try to get out after it opens back up. Now, because it's like a liquidity event, that auction, you'll take a little more shares with the idea that you're just going to be getting out when it reopens. So here, you would have taken 587, and you're only actually making about 30 or 40 cents, but it's a liquidity event, and then you can cover the rest after. But if it doesn't halt in that 15 seconds, it can snap down on you, and the slippage there can be large. So instead of getting out for a penny loss on a stop order or 5 cents, it's like 25 cents instantly before you could blink an eye. So the stock is still running. I'm looking at $10 right now. I've traded it probably a million times today. I'm actually, weirdly enough, okay on the shorts, slightly up, but it's the long positions a couple of times that have burned me, trying to take those breakouts. I'm going to stick to only going to the south side. I'm looking for a 10 failed break. I need it to pop and fail at 10 before I want to get into it. Maybe it'll capitulate before it gets there, but this IPO started out, we're doing like only a couple 100,000 shares of volume. It's now almost 40 million on the day. It's almost like there's one of these a week. Hour is the stock of the hour.
Yeah, it's crazy to see when it's 1.5 million shares that came to market. So on day number one, it trades through the entire thing 40 times or more. I want to mention some of the travel names here we saw on the board there. How strong, really, both the cruise lines and airlines were to head into the afternoon here. There was a number of positive mentions in the pre-market from analysts on these names. Bernstein for one of them, Dow, Love, UAL, all to the upside. Over here, Bank of America, price target increase as well, UAL. They actually upgraded the entire group, so the airline group. So nice look here for some of these airlines right now. I just brought up United, but tight little consolidation at day highs here, 47.5, trying to hold right now.
I mean, remember we talked about it a couple days ago, and it was that Jets ETF, and that's basically just in everything. We talked about it last week. I believe it was somewhere near 21 or so, and you've got a nice little bump up in Jets here, taking out the 50-period moving average and starting to move back to the upside. So, I mean, I like the name. For me, I'd rather be in something like a Boeing that I think will just be a little safer. Well, here you go. Like, load up the chart here. I just think Boeing, it's above the 50-period moving average. We've sort of seen how far down. Like, I don't see a reason really why Boeing should retest anywhere back down here, 185, 190. I mean, unless there is an issue again with some of their planes. But, as long as we're through all that, I think the next thing for some of these airlines to do would be to, maybe reinvest in some new planes, things like that. I know they've been holding out on making some orders. So I think that will definitely help Boeing. So I'm a buyer of Boeing more than any of the other, more than any airline. I'm not in any airlines. You see Boeing today up 2.5. We could chat, what is AAL? And I know you just reviewed them, but what's the percent they're up as well? Is it similar to Boeing? Come on, chart. Way much more. So 4.5%. So you could see that the airlines, I guess this is above the 50 period as well. So I don't know. I'd rather be in Boeing than any of these names, but as you've seen, banks, airlines, oil has been absolutely monstrous this year, and I don't see why it's not going to continue. So for me, I'm a buyer of all these names as they go to the downside, but for right now, I feel like it's just a little too aggressive. Like, we were just at $16 2 weeks ago on American Airlines. I just don't know if it's right to pay up to 19, and I think it's probably true of all of the airlines.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. I've never been a huge fan of the airlines personally. It's such a difficult business, right? Like, when you're betting on Boeing or like even GE to be part of that space in general, it just feels a little more sad. Like, planes are going to be in the air because they're necessary for us, but with the airlines, there's so much turnover and coming in and out of bankruptcy and bailouts, and it's just the cycles are always running. So unless you're taking advantage of something like the pandemic bottoms, or trying to pick bottoms when you get events like this, they're just more difficult for a longer term investment. Now, obviously, there is a mini break happening. When you said a UAL specifically, Brandon, there's a mini break happening right now in this stock off of 46. But then when I pull it, that's on the daily chart, but when I pull it up and look at this on the 15, as the market is sort of barcoding off the top, like, this is, I don't usually trade the airlines or this one very heavily, but I'm looking at back through like 47.50 and asking myself if I don't want to try a scalp trade 47.50 down into 47. The problem with that is to the high, you've got about 25 to 30 cents. It's okay on a risk to reward basis. It would be a little bit better, and now I'm going to go to the 1 minute. It would be a little bit better if you have the price off the top in that situation, as opposed to taking this break, because I'm likely going to be trying to cover it around VWAP, and that's not the best risk to reward. So if it does try to slide back in here, it's like a triple top. Not a horrible idea for finding something that's possibly going to give you a move, shorting off the high of the day. This market, it's been trying to go, but it just feels like we're running out of steam to end the week. I mean, there's been moments where I thought we were going to finally break out at the top, and then, you know, things just pull right back in. And maybe that's just how it's going to be. Like, we're still digesting both the reaction to the Fed, and then this morning with that jobs report. I mean, it was a huge miss. There's no way around it. And I think we thought maybe the market could react negatively to it or positively to that, because the Fed would be possibly slowing things down. But you had that the labor participation rate was okay, but it was the hourly wage number was a big beat, and I think that's something that keeps the Fed in line with their pulling the rug. So ultimately, I think this market might run out of steam. Could be some selling going into the last few hours of the day, and that would lend some of these pulling back into VWAP.
So just quickly here, and that's what I'm thinking about right here with Lucid, just getting pulled off of VWAP down here at 40.76. So we've already made some moves here. It's definitely starting to barcode. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more to show you this trade. And then, so if we break above into this area, I don't want to be part of this. So we could wait till 40s, but I think it's just better to take the profit on Lucid. This could run. So, you know, a break of 41.30 back up to the upside, and we're going to get out of Lucid. Otherwise, I mean, it's a $2 winner right now. That will still basically put us into $1.80 or so on the last little bit. So if we can get that on Lucid, that's definitely a name that we'll take out just in case that run does happen one more time. Okay, so AMC, we let this one, first of all, we are, where's my key here? It's my favorite one to hit, so you know what it is. So Palantir was actually a really good trade for us today. All the way back down, we loaded it up right here and got it all out, and we're holding, I think it's like 5% left, but we just took another position on right here against this bottom of 45. So that's what we're doing. We're going to hold out hope here that there is a little bit of a rally to come back in the afternoon on a Palantir name, and we'll take this again back up to the upside. So Palantir is still a great stock for us today. It does fall down. We don't have anything like this. Was early. We took that early, got it out. Then it dropped down, averaged in 3 times here, including that very bottom one, which was our biggest, because again, we had seen a bottom down here at 50, so we loaded it up. Thankfully, it didn't retest, and it just took off to the upside with the market. But right now, you're seeing this market come back in here. So yeah, we're going to take one more shot, and we're going to use this very bottom here on Palantir. If it gets taken out, then we're gone, and that's that. We can close our trade on Palantir and then forget about it. I don't even really like this name down here. It's just we've been trading it, and we know we can scalp it out, and we've been profitable on the name, so we'll continue with that move. AMC's been another one that's been a good winner for us. Again, if you watch how we're trading this all day, it's basically scalp, scalp, scalp. We take this out. This was 22.60. Out 80s, out 80s, out 90s there, 85. And then right now, coming back in, we're looking to get longer. Actually, right here. I'm on 50. I'm at 57 bid. So, come on. We're bidding 57. So just right in here, almost like right at that bid there. Don't know why we picked 57. It's a little bit ahead of 55 here. So hopefully we get longer on AMC and see if it can ride it back up to the upside. So long AMC, long Palantir, short Lucid right now is what we're working with and looking for some more names. Maybe we'll reload up into DraftKings. I'm noticing Facebook's just flat right now, so we had a good win on Facebook yesterday. Remember, we got that $1 at the end of the day, so we'll see if Facebook needs to be reloaded as well.
A few retail names worth keeping an eye on here this afternoon as well. Just saw this one, KR. Kroger holding a decent level here, 48.20, and a tight little consolidation as well at recent highs. There was a couple of positive notes on this space. Remember, though, we mentioned Kohl's and Abercrombie both to the downside. KSS still kind of struggling today, but trying to get back higher. But some of the retail group guys having a pretty good day.
Yeah, I mean, relative strength definitely over here in Kroger, and I'm looking at another name which has relative strength today, and that's going to be Walmart. Up at the high of the day, it's only up 1%, and that wick makes this chart look a little bit less impressive. But you know, it's been It's been a bit of a shaky ride for Walmart. I feel like they should be doing a little bit better than they are, especially in this environment. I mean, if you believe in the economy, I don't think we're going to be too wrong about Walmart continuing to do well, being able to. Supply chain has been an issue for just about everybody, but all signs are sort of saying that if this is not the most horrible wave ever, and then things should try to get back to normal soon. I know the Fed was concerned, or some in the Fed were a little bit concerned that things could linger. But Walmart's finally breaking out of this lull, getting above the 250. It's forming a wedge where you have you've got these descending highs here, but a steeper set of rising lows, and it's kind of forming into a potential breakout wedge. Walmart, a name I certainly like, and I think it's one that you want to be looking at for this type of a year. Hopefully we get this breakout at some point, like 146 to 148. This area can take you to those lower highs, and we get that break. For now, I had literally just talked about this on UAL, but the market just sort of cracked into the downside load, just cracked that downside a little bit. I'm still on the daily chart. And then you get the breakdown. So sometimes you just got to put it on. I'm willing to bet we just saw a lot of names start to roll over. I want to actually go back to Affirm because if this market's going to fall, I feel like it's low-hanging fruit that Affirm should make another push to the downside. And guess what? It's going sideways here. And if things start to accelerate, there's no way that Affirm's not going to come back to 77.50. And yes, we do see Tesla 1,000 very much in play for today's close. We're at 1,013. Yeah, I mean, if it goes exactly to 1,000, you might see me try to get in there right in front of the level just for a quick little scalp bounce.
Yeah, what's up with that? Okay, yeah, that's a surprise that we're down that low there on Tesla. I've seen, I mean, obviously I'm sitting here with Lucid, so I can definitely imagine and see what's happening here to this market. But AMC right now, we do have a reload on that name, so we're excited to see where that could possibly go right now. That's going to be AMC to back up, hopefully to the upside. We didn't get our 52s or whatever we were waiting for. We had to take 62 there, so we did just take another piece in right there on this name. So we'll wait to see where it goes, but so far so good on AMC. A nice little reload there. And then Tesla, yeah, you just mentioned that, Neil. Let's have a quick look to see what's going on with this name. Yeah, continues to just get hit today. It was a nice couple moves down. It's not good. Let's check out this. Great high at 12, right? I mean, we talked about that. We jokingly said was it going to take out all-time highs? You became within 20 bucks or 40 bucks. I think it was 1244 or so is the all-time high. So we almost, let me just check that out. Yep, 1243.49 all-time highs on Tesla. We came within, $30 of that, and that was just 4 days ago. So 1, 2, 3, and then now today, maybe I miscounted that, but 3 or 4 days ago, and now you're pushing right back in. I like Tesla, but I really do like it back here at 900. Whoa, back at 900 here. We have some bad wicks there, but I'm not going to be able to show it to you. I'll have another chart, but for now, I'm not a buyer of Tesla. This market continues to fall down, and I'm just looking for more options rather than to get into a Tesla. Maybe a Rivian, which has been getting hit here. I'm already long Tesla, so I want to wait till 900. I'm a buyer down there, but for now, I'm going to stay away from this name.
Yeah, I was just looking at this G-Box. A few people talking about Greenbox POS, which is a blockchain-based payments provider or payments providing company. So there was a headline here teaming up with Charge Savvy on record quarterly results. So nice volume here, guys, for G-Box. Back to yesterday's high, which is worth mentioning, was also a decent day for this thing. 550, a big level for Greenbox.
Oh, another high flyer to look at the top, making we just pulled back there. I'm on the prowl on that hour stock. It's getting real close to that 10, and it keeps on threatening it. So out of the corner of my eye, I'm going to be constantly watching that. This made it G-Box already made a bit of a turn. It doesn't seem like much. Let's zoom in on the daily. It doesn't seem like much of a spike, but you do come right into previous resistance, and it's right to that 550 level. And the only reason why I think it could, it just pull back now, but it's about 20, 25 cents away from maybe getting to that level. It was a volume spike that got it there that was pretty good, and you would have thought it could follow through. I don't love shorting in this range. If you short 25s or 20s, and it takes out the high, are you really wrong when I just showed you on the daily that about 550 could be that level? You're kind of getting in too early unless you like a 1-to-1 down to this $5. So I think maybe sitting that one out is going to make sense. I'd rather be in an hour as this really pushes, because if this fails at 10, it might present you with a trade where it fails to go at 10, maybe you get a 70. We'll see. Maybe it gets a 70 to 80 area short, and then it's going halfway to VWAP, is a 70 penny winner at that range. And if it goes all the way, you're talking about $1.50, $2. So the risk to reward is really, really well set up in Hour because you want to trade something that moves. And this stock is going gangbusters. 40 million shares after they issued 1.5 million shares tells you all you need to know about how dangerous it is to sort of just sit here and average into oblivion. That's why you see so many executions, because I'm essentially getting in and getting out, and then when I short it and have it in the money, you let it ride to the downside, but you always have to have a relatively, well, I always have to have a relatively tight stop. Now, obviously, after what happened to me on the long break on the Halt, if it breaks out and is halting to the upside, I am not trying to go long on a Halt. That completely ruined my day on the stock, but on one trade that moved 25 pennies. So I'm not trying to go long. I think the shorts have been pretty safe so long as you adhere to your stop.
Oh, XOM 52-week highs up to $69 right now. Okay, just to give you an update, 41.20 new out on Lucid. It breaks back above 41.20. We're going to get out of that one. So we are going to capture the full $2 on that move, no matter what, as it's now $2.25 now in the money. NVIDIA, yuck. Down 3 today, NVDA. And I don't mean $3. I wish I did. Down 3 points today on NVIDIA. So all the way to the down, I guess percentage points, I should say. All the way to the downside. It's been a nasty run for them today. I really like this name, but again, maybe it's too far, too fast on the daily chart for NVIDIA recently. This was a monster move. I mean, we just went from October bottoms of 200 up to 340. So we basically went up, what, 50% from 200 to 340, more than that, in less than 2 months. So, you know, obviously there is some profit taking coming back in. And again, I think that you're enough below the 50-period moving average that this could be something to do. There it is right there. We'll go a little bit, oh my God. Or wow, either way. Therefore, AMC, as that's starting to go back up to the upside. So that looks like that was a good take. We have to take something out. I mean, we don't have to, but, you know, I'm going to wait now for 23. I just think that AMC has a chance to get going. But at the same time, all we really want to do today is start dropping some grenades and just really, that's just so cool how slow motion that is that all we're sort of doing right now is stacking the pockets, man. I got to go on my way home. Apparently the kids have been behaving today, so that means I'm probably going to have to buy them something. And then I do always have to stop. It's the weekend, right? So let's get some extracurricular activities going, and that costs money, right? So we're going to wait for that. And all we're doing right now is just stacking it up. I advise you guys maybe do the same. I don't know if there's going to be any home runs coming through right now, but AMC, we are just taking out that cash, 12 cents in the money. Wow. Very, very impressive, right? Not really. DraftKings making a move back to the upside. We took we took multiples on this one. This was a great trade for me today. Like, I'm happy taking, 15 cents there on AMC, but you could see some of these trades here. That's $1.30 or 40 there on DraftKings, but nothing in the afternoon. It's not doing anything. There's no point in taking trades when stocks are barcoding. So you got to look for names that are moving.
You know what might move here?
What, Roku maybe?
DWAC is at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it's tested the bottom at 53.50. And that's a stock that we thought was going to go crazy. By the way, Hour just popped to the upside. So another tight stop short there at $10. But now it's DWAC that, look, we talked about this in the morning show, how both DWAC and GME, that's the one.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah, both big news and you thought might have a bit of a run and then kind of a nothing burger. But this has tested this low like several times here at 55.30. I want something that's going to move. I don't mind. I'll try a breakdown trade here. The market's trying to roll over. If it couldn't go up, I like the notion that maybe it could go down just a little bit. I still, oh, give me a break. As I was doing opportunity costs, I had actually just said that I was going to look for a failed break on Hour, so I just had that short. It broke 10, and I was staring at it. Okay, is it going to fail? Can it carry through? It tries to carry through and then capitulates. And as I was looking and putting my order in DWAC, there it goes an Hour. So it is what it is. Like you look away for 2 seconds, and that's the downside of trying to trade multiple symbols. Like if you're only looking at the one stock, it's probably not going to happen to you. I'm still going to have my order in DWAC to go. And because that's a huge capitulation, I might try to short a pop if it has one. Although I'm guessing it might not have a decent sized pop. It just fell about $1.40 on one candle. I don't know how much it's going to pop up to that $10 range to see if we can get back into the short again. Crazy move on the stock. You can see what happens when the rug pulls when there's no shares available. It's a 1.5 million float right now.
Yeah, hour. But we always say, Neil, like you mentioned that it was one of your worst stocks, but you're back in it. We try to.
Yeah, but it was a long.
The setup is there now.
Oh no, it's the Halt trade. Like,
It was the Halt trade.
And we actually, during our office poker game, we talked about this, several of the traders, about the way not to get caught in that Halt move. And it's to actually not wait for that bid to break, just get out on the bid that everyone's trying to get long, because if it breaks, the slippage can be gigantic. And that's essentially what happened, because you're trying to take more shares. That's the idea. Like these entries here are for about a tenth to an eighth of what I had long when I'm trying to catch the breakout, because you're using the Halt trade. So again, you want to be a little bit tighter with your stops when you're trying to do that. And I wasn't today, and that's what's annoying. So I'm going back to just shorting it the way that I usually do.
To keep an eye on that Monday as well. Just seeing, guys, the 10-year coming off a little bit. Banks very strong, though, heading into the final few minutes here, or hour or so for the day. Really the only thing kind of propping the market up. I was just looking at Roku again. There was an executive change that was announced this morning, but I mean, this thing down 6.5%. PayPal down 2%, Square down 2%. This afternoon. I mean, it's getting a little ugly once again. There was a note on Starbucks this morning as well. Starbucks off about 3% at this point this afternoon. But Roku specifically being picked on a little bit here today.
Yeah. I'm actually just chatting up with my kid here, asking him how his remote day has been at school. So I will talk about that. I just want to give everyone a quick update. AMC, if we can get out at 22.90, I said AMC not bad. So today, so far, there it is. Wearing the sunglasses here on AMC. We've kind of been like little undercover, just kind of scalping this name today for some nice little wins. So that's going to be a good one. And then I did want to talk quickly because we do have a new position alert. And look, I mean, this one could, it's a decent position, but it's not a huge one. I just like the risk to reward. We have the high of the day here at 1066. We're short right now at 62. And, you know, we'll get it out if it breaks above 70. So I just think like for an 8-cent worth of risk here for Nikola, you know, if the market does crash down or something starts up with Nikola, we'll have the short on. And I don't think this is going to be like a Lucid situation where, you know, this kind of stuff happens where I have to average into it. So I'm just going to do what I think is right. Take it against that 1070 here on Nikola and see if it fades out from there. So we will take a 7 or 8 cent hit. So if you do see that come through, that is what that is. But again, this is not like a huge amount of shares. We'd like to come back down into the 50s here, take that out, and then see to make the risk to reward any profitable down here to 1040 and change. So that's kind of the idea that we have. Palantir barcoding right now, not doing much. It did retest some of the lows. I had another bid in the 40s to see against that level, but that didn't come through. So we'll see if that can get going. And then you mentioned Roku. I talked about that earlier, man. Like, what a crazy name this has been. The Roku's high, I thought when I was looking at it earlier, was like 480 or something like that. Or was that another stock? That's a 20-minute stock, 20-minute chart, sorry. If I zoom this back out here, yeah, that is right. Wow. And it's all relative. And Neil was mentioning this as well. There's been a lot of stocks that have fallen down. You know, this is about 60% or a little bit more, 480 down to 180. So it took off $300 there, and it didn't even take that long, man. This was mid-July when Roku was at 500. Now you're all the way down to 180 on this name. So it's just continuing to fall. Again, you know, they've made some recent deals. They got their YouTube subscription or the deal for YouTube extended another 5 years or something like that. So I think Roku does have a few tailwinds. I'm not even really sure why it keeps going down. I know Kathy Wood is in this name. I know there's a lot of traders looking to pick up something that's fallen. And honestly, I'd rather be in other names, like just a name even like an Affirm or an Upstart or something rather than a Roku. I've never been able to wrap my head around where Roku's at. And maybe we can, I know we have Justin coming on, but like, you know, until they make bigger deals, like I just don't know. Amazon has their own TVs now. They use their own software. Apple's obviously using their own software. Samsung has the Tizen or whatever that is called. So they're using their own thing as well. So I always thought Roku was pretty cool for like older TVs that you'd plug the stick in and bang, you have a smart TV. But I don't know how many people are holding said TVs anymore. So I'm going to still continue with my bearish attitude on Roku because I just don't see any catalysts. And when they're there, we'll be on the stock. But for now, I don't see it.
Yeah, man, I don't see it either. Like, it's one of those things where it feels like it's done. And, you know, give me give me Amazon all day, which is, it's the kind of thing that's probably in some people's portfolios, and just keep it simple with regards to that. A new position for me is a small, slight, teeny tiny bounce in the market there, maybe like, I don't know, like a 20 or 30 handles on the NASDAQ, just enough to have a firm continue to come right into VWAP here. I got 79.64, but if you look at the 80 level, you can kind of see that it's traveled through a little bit. Like it'll go like 10, 15, 20 cents and then sort of come back down. So a bit of a whippy stock. Its spread is usually about 10 to 15 pennies as well. So I'll give it a tiny bit of room above that 80 level and then be able to add to it as well if I want to come back in. And I am in this, the one from yesterday that if you're watching the morning show, I guess I traded it this morning as well. That ATHE, it finally broke $1, and I told myself there was a day on Sundial where I had like my best trade of the month shorting on $1 in Sundial, and then ended up that day shut down on Sundial because I basically just averaged in from the bottom all the way up to $1 again. And I said to myself I wouldn't do the same thing. If it does a wipeout bottom at the open and then just starts climbing back, actually wait for it to plateau and then only short it in front of $1. So it worked here at 98.5. I'm right back in it at 90, essentially almost at 99 cents. And then it's pretty simple. If I see $1 start to go, I'm just going to get out of this thing. So if you see me in it, that's all it is. It's about as simple of a trade as you could possibly imagine. Yesterday was trading the range between $1.05. Trades aren't showing up between $1.05 and then shorting this 120 area all day long. And then today it's been only one side of that. It's just been shorting in front of $1. It breaks $1, we'll just get out of the way of this thing. And it's just one of those things that you want to be able to do. I find if something makes a capitulation bottom in general like this, and then doesn't give you that second leg down, stepping in front of it, it's too bullish. Like, don't step in front of it. Allow it to slow down a little bit, especially if it's a penny stock. Like a lot of these there's a lot of incentive to get back above $1. And even if this holds below $1 for like a month, at some point there's going to probably be like a press release or a run that tries to get it back above that price. We see it time and time again. So I'll keep this one on the radar as long as it has a bit of volume.
Bit of a break. We'll bring in our friend Justin Kozach, Day Trade the World marketing guy. Check him out on Twitter at tradertv.Justin. Good to see you, as always, Justin. Welcome back. We're going to talk about a few interesting little notes for today, starting off with Twitter once again. I've actually seen a few people already jumping at me saying, join my Twitter Spaces. What is that?
Yeah, so Twitter Spaces is somewhat of a new-ish product. Essentially, it's a way for people to join into audio conversations with other people. You can have hosts, and it's good for like open mics, or if you want to have conversations about social issues or politics or whatever is whatever sort of topics your community is interested in talking about. I've jumped into a few of them over the last little while, and have met some interesting folks and had some really interesting conversations, and others just kind of sit back and listen and get a different perspective on different social or political issues. So certainly an interesting product. So that's kind of the summary of what Spaces is.
So if you take a step back, we're talking about maybe a forum with a voice forum or something along those lines without video. So it's podcast-like, but no video, correct?
That is correct. It's only audio. There's no video component yet. Maybe in the future, Twitter will develop a video component to that. But they're tapping into sort of a zeitgeist of a popular product. Clubhouse as a competitor or is a competitor of theirs. Certainly not with the reach that Twitter has, obviously, because it's built into their platform. Whereas Clubhouse has to build that user base and build the product on the same side. So certainly a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, interesting to see in the day of all things video and how good of quality video you can possibly produce. They're going kind of back to just audio once again, which is an interesting idea.
Well, it takes a lot less bandwidth too, right? Transmitting audio is obviously a lot less bandwidth intensive than video. So I think what could be really interesting for them is if they're able to take that product to desktop, now they're able to reach a much larger audience. So that's something that I'm certainly keeping an eye on. I would love to see that personally. That'd be fantastic.
All right, I'm maybe not proud to say, but happy to say I've never had the chance to use Tinder. Tell me what group swiping is, Justin.
Right. So group swiping is not what some people would think it is. Essentially, it's a new feature that allows people to sort through possible matches with your friends. So very much like Spaces, but for socially separated soulmate searching. very difficult alliteration to come up with. The code was initially discovered by a few people in the Android and iOS app, and Twitter has kind of confirmed that, or sorry, not Twitter, my apologies, Tinder has confirmed that it's a feature that they're working on, and obviously they're looking at some other ones. So good little feature to have, if you're locked down, or maybe not locked up, but locked down in your place. You can hang out with your friends and go through your matches and see who you think might be a good fit. Don't know if it's going to work. Being that some parts of the world are locked down, like we are in Ontario. But an interesting feature nonetheless. I've really been fascinated with COVID-born businesses that use social distancing as a way to keep people connected and keep people in touch, as opposed to just having to kind of be separated from the rest of from everybody else and staying in their basements.
Yeah, and I mean, look, in all seriousness, this is a good way, as you said, to reach out and remain in contact with people that you might have similar interest in and things of that nature. So as you said, great idea, interesting story for Tinder. Maybe expanding their horizons a little. This Digital World Acquisition Corporation, Trump media story, hit the wires late in the day yesterday. Ends up being, a whole bunch to do about nothing, it would appear today. I mean, yes, the story is still there lingering in the background, but not much follow through as far as the stock is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, the stock went up, your stock was up about 20 points yesterday. But as you said, it's turned out to be a bit of a nothing burger story. The only real angle to the story is that, Trump is supposedly launching this new app on President's Day because Trump. And it will be interesting to see how quickly that gets taken down. I'm going to put some money on that, say it's probably going to last about a week. So who knows? We'll see what happens with it. Trump certainly trying to, do an end run on Facebook and Twitter after getting kicked off those platforms. So I think the love affair that he had with Parler was very short-lived. And now, he's going to kind of do his own thing because that's apparently what he does. So listen, who knows where this is going to go? Obviously he's got his own kind of troubles as far as DWAC goes. Well, not he, but DWAC seems to be having their own troubles with an SEC and a financial industry regulatory authority investigation into some, to some stock trading and communication. Because again, what would be a Trump initiative without the law getting involved? So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
maybe it'll do better than Trump stakes. Who knows?
I love that you added that in at the end there, because that was a thing. If people were wondering, Trump stakes was a thing. I mean, the real story, obviously, this date or timeline for this date, much faster than anyone had estimated from the initial news announcement that this was coming. So if in fact this does happen as quickly as they are saying, maybe a positive sign as far as the actual technology is concerned behind this product that allegedly will come to a mobile device, as I said this morning, near you on February 21st. Wanted to get your thoughts. I'll put you on the spot here. I didn't give you a chance to kind of look into this, but this is not the first attempt at something along these lines, even this year. This, I don't know if you've heard of Getter, which is GTTR or GTRR, I can't remember which one, but similar kind of idea. It's just a platform, another social media type platform, on that side of the spectrum for people who choose. So Joe Rogan apparently has joined.
Right. So that was Jason Miller. I think he worked for Trump for a spell. I don't remember exactly what his official job title was, but I do remember hearing something about that. Here's what I find so fascinating about this conversation, and not just the conversation that you and I are having; those are always fascinating, but just the conversation around technology and First Amendment rights and conversation and the cancel culture. I just find this whole thing so interesting. Is how the conversation has become so. It's become so politicized and so politically charged, and it's just amazing to me that we're in this era of creating technology that helps to solve some quote unquote problems and helps to solve some actual problems. I'm not saying that these are issues, but I find it just so fascinating that there's this big conversation that's happening around how do we create ways for people to have conversations across the political spectrum, which is really the basis for how we're going to solve so many of these problems that we have, just by simply having a conversation. So I think this is awesome. And it doesn't matter to me who starts these platforms, who launches these apps. If we can have a way to have a dialogue that is meaningful and that solves problems, doesn't matter to me who starts it.
Yeah.
Let's just keep talking.
Yeah, well said. Agreed completely. Sean has joined and has some thoughts.
Sean has entered the conversation.
Sean has entered the room.
One of those things.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, here we go. No, it was actually just, we were talking just on our own chat here, Justin, and you mentioned about that Roku thing. Like, Neil, myself, and Brendan, and I just want to get your opinion on it, because we've talked over and over again about this stock, and we kind of joke about it that we don't really know anybody that owns a Roku. And I know the technology is embedded into some TVs, but like what is the I don't know how to word this because we just thought about it, but do you find that there may be a catalyst behind this move to the downside, if you've done any research on this? And then on the flip side, is there something that may create Roku for a catalyst back up to the upside? Because it's like a falling knife, man. We've been cut in half, more than half. Here's the chart here. It was 480 in the summer. Like, I feel like that's not even that long ago. And there's been really no reprieve. We get this little bump right here. There was questions on whether or not the YouTube app would work again on their platform or not. But, that's one thing right here to look at for Roku. What's your opinion? Could we start nibbling here? What do you think about the technology, so on and so forth?
I've been an avid cord cutter. I haven't had cable since the first time that Obama got elected. That was 2007, 2008. I think I canceled my cable probably about 3 days after, because at that point I've had enough of politics. And yet I talk about it all the time. I think that this technology, the key to distribution is going to be, like you said, embedding this, making this available in the actual television, into the TV devices themselves. I still think that Roku has such a long way to go. I think that there's so much potential with that company. I would love to see them get better distribution, get some partnerships with some bigger TVs or bigger TV manufacturers, and start to do some better not better marketing, but just like to see more marketing from them. That'd be amazing. In terms of the stock, it's
don't worry about the stock.
Sorry, what was that?
No, I was going to say, don't worry about the stock price. I know you don't really look at that. So, I just wanted to see what your opinion on was it, and there we go. I think that's a good one. What was, and I know we've had you on, obviously, since Christmas time, but was there one or two cool gadgets and maybe that you missed out on for Christmas, or that you got something on a Boxing Day sale or anything like that? Like what's maybe a hot gadget that I should be looking out for right here as we start 2022?
Oh man, honestly, I am so out of the gadget game. I wouldn't even have.
All right, then let me ask you this then.
Sure.
What phone are you? An Apple guy, an iOS guy? iOS is Apple, Android. What kind of phone are you flexing right now? Because obviously people are always looking to improve or get into a different space as far as their technology is concerned on their phones. I know Arun and I just picked up the brand new Pixel 6. I picked up my wife an iPhone 13 Pro. She's loving that. What are you rolling around with?
So I'm running the Pixel 3a. I'm a big Android guy. So I really, really want to get my hands on a 6. I've used iPhone for years. Good platform. But really Android is kind of my jam right now. I really like where the direction that Google is taking the operating system. I really like the way the hardware is going. They're trending definitely in the right direction. I feel like Apple is just Apple feels a lot more to me like a toy than it does a device. No offense to the Apple folks. Listen, my partner has an iPhone. She's got 2 of them. She loves them. But I'm just, I'm Android all the way, baby. That's it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I know the iOS ecosystem is pretty huge. Justin Kozic, thank you so much. Day Trade the World marketing team, I want to thank you for coming on here again. And you've been a big addition to the show. And, very proud to have gotten to know you over the last year. Hopefully more big, badder things to come in 2022, my friend.
You got it.
Thanks, man. All right, go Leafs go, by the way, Justin. Forget about you and your Edmonton Oilers, man. Down with the Oilers. Yeah,
deal with it.
Yeah, and deal with this,
What's up
too.
with that?
in your face, bobblehead in your face. Right now, I want to give a big shout out. I want to give a big shout out to my man over there at Volkswagen, George. How are you doing? Sorry, I can't answer your calls. I'm live on the air, but yeah, I'm shouting at the car guy, man. This is what we're doing. Yeah, Martin Grove Volkswagen in the building. I'm doing all this so I can get like free stuff and things like that. So
hey man, if you get a free car out of it,
anyways,
it's definitely
free
a win.
car.
What?
All right, I'm down
aim
with
high, Willis.
Yeah, I'm down with the free car. All right.
There was news on Peloton that just broke, so I'm going to pull my inner Brendan here. I fill in for I can do this. Peloton Bike and Bike Plus times increased to 2 to 3 weeks for deliveries. This is the first upward shift they've seen since March of 2021. This is from KeyBank. Demand obviously increasing for Peloton, probably a good thing. This is what their daily chart looks like if you haven't seen it in the last little bit. Peloton trying to make a move off the bottoms. Now, there was a spike when it came out. I did mention, I threw it in the chat just to make sure, you guys knew about this when it came out there. And then it dips right to the breakout price. Like, what kind of a gift is that? The high when the news came and it broke was 35.30. It breaks 35.30 and then holds 35.30 almost to the penny. It then gives you the consolidation right above it. So you just jam in, work it right to the high. I love these structured trades. This is how it's supposed to go on flash news. Like a lot of times you get that initial event, the algos buy it up, and then profit taking comes down. But if it's legit, then usually you'll find support back where it was trading before. That's what's happened here. If it fails to break through the top, I probably wouldn't go back to that well another time. But good look for Peloton. There's probably a lot of people. Actually, we had Michael Noss from Trade Ideas to end the year talking about how there's tax loss selling and Peloton was one of the targets. You could see some buying coming into that in the beginning of the year. And now you get a positive piece for the news. Well, guess what? You have a couple of up days in a row. Now it's trying to break out of this little bit of a lull that it has. And maybe this is the start of a little something. If you pull the 15-minute up, I like the scalp trade when it's flash news because my history on flash news is if I don't get in and get out of it very quickly, usually I end up like just holding the bag and it comes all the way back. But there's a lot of levels up here that it needs to still break out. Like it's been stair-stepping down. Right, like if you actually look at the daily, until it gets above, I'd say in the short term, like 40, and then eventually above like 47, 48. There's probably, those are the two big levels I think it's got to churn through here, but there's a lot of room for it to go. It's been falling like a rock. I'm not a huge person when it comes to like fitness devices because I feel they usually are a bit faddish, but everyone I actually know, like I would never probably buy a Peloton myself. I'm just not, I don't even go to a gym. Like I don't even like paying money to go to a gym. I just can't bring myself to do it. But everyone I know that has a Peloton has sworn by it. So like, and I mean by like life changing is sworn by it.
Well, I think it just keeps you disciplined.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I want to talk about Peloton is, and the reason why I recommended a buy of this thing, and it was at $40, I started to nibble into that stock, and honestly, it's going to start to make a move to the backside, and I just really like that report because it's exactly what I was saying. I thought we could get a pickup in Peloton heading off of the Christmas season, and people, New Year's resolutions and whatnot. So yeah, that's something there for sure. I did want to do this though right now. Yes, sir. The money flying out right here on AMC. We went longer on this name just as we started the show back at 2 o'clock. Boom, right down there to 22.60. First out 78s or whatever. We took an 84 out. Now you're ripping back up to 90s on the upside. AMC continues to rock and roll here. So that's going to be a good trade for us today. Hopefully it rips to the high side and we can get out. I'm holding the rest of AMC until we get a close lower than where we're in. Period. I'm willing to lose on this. If we break that back down below 22.50, then we'll get out of AMC. So right now, we'll sacrifice a little bit to hopefully make a lot. So a little bit for a lot, I like it. One other name here, and I don't see too much happening. Again, we're short Nikola right now at the top. That, hopefully we can retrace back up, but we're just bouncing off that 70. That's the level that we're concerned with. So we're going to hold on to this one. Might not be anything involved there. Really not too impressed with the semis today. But one name, I was thinking about Nikola. How about just turn this NFLX? The one name that's gotten absolutely destroyed. And honestly, like Squid Game was pretty cool. I think they have a lot of content coming through. We heard Trader Prad talk about that and what's coming through. Why is this getting absolutely destroyed? Like I'm not really, maybe I'm just not in the right mental space right now, but I can't even think about why this has happened to Netflix Netflix, and I know that there's the reopen trade coming through. People saying, you know what, we're all going back to work. Well, not here in Ontario. Thank you to our government for that one, and don't get me going on that either. But we're going to come right back into the downside right now, and I think Netflix is another name if you want to start nibbling, just like I was thinking about Peloton. You know, this is a name right now that's well below the 200 period. It's almost like there was a share offering. I know there wasn't, but it's almost like there's something down with this, man. Like, I have no idea why this continues to make a move to the downside. But for me, Netflix is a name that has to get picked up. Message me at TraderTVSean on Twitter if you know what's going on with Netflix. But a big move to the downside. And if this is because people reweighting their portfolios because they think that, you know, the reopen trade is here, guess what, man? Netflix, actually, COVID obviously helped a lot of these streaming services because it changed habits. Yep. Like, my kids, like, if I try to watch cable, and I still have cable, but like, if I'm starting to watch cable, they're like, commercials, like, what the, you know, and they just go right back to Netflix. Like, honestly, when I leave the room, as long as it's not on a football event, they know, I'm okay. I don't really watch anything other than sports. So if I'm sitting there watching something, that's fine. But like, you know, if it's not a Sunday or something, it's like I leave the room, they just throw back on, whether or not it's Apple or Netflix or Crave here in Canada. You know, I think the streaming game is here to stay.
It's never going anywhere. And the thing about Netflix is that nobody compares to them. And look, I'll say that as someone who's incredibly disappointed with Disney. And I'm a huge, like, I love watching Marvel stuff. Like, they have all, I'm a huge Star Wars guy. Like, I am the person who was like, take my money, Disney. And it's been a disappointment. They cannot seem to beat Netflix. The content is pretty good. You know, I'm going to, if I ever find some time, thank you, Rob Ford. If I ever find some time, I'm going to start getting back into that Lost in Space over on Netflix. So that's been a good one for them. Squid Game, when that second season comes, is going to be insane.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, forget about it. Like, that's going to be ridiculous, and let alone some of the other names that they have, like Witcher is coming back. Although that's a bit of a disappointment. I'm only going to bring up a few people have asked about ATER a little bit, and I see people talking about Apple TV. I got that too. I don't know. I'm just like, take my money, everybody, because they had Foundation. ATER popped up on the radar earlier today. I'm not really seeing the trade here. The volume has died down. It seems to be just giving everything back as I see it. Unless it was someone looking to short it if you were short at $4, that looks great. I'd just be sitting in that if I had that short. And you just sit in that and maybe give it back to like 405, 410. This looks like it just seems to be bleeding it away. I don't know, like, I thought I saw someone say it's coming back, but it just seems to be dying for me. I'm in Affirm, which is barcoding. The NASDAQ is trying to get back to the upside, but Affirm is what I mean by barcoding. It's holding at VWAP. I'll take the stop out if it goes, but if the market rolls over, I like this one to try to come back in. And then we talked about Tesla 1000. Well, I mean, anytime you say you want something to happen, it's just not going to happen. So I wanted to get long in front of 1,000, down a little bit closer to 1,000, not at 1,010, which risk to reward's not that bad. If you take 10s and you risk like $10 to $12, to try and make 20 to 30, but I was kind of trying to hope for that little tighter short, or tighter long. The same way when we were shorting in front of 1,200, it was literally shorting 99s to take $7 to $10. That's what I wanted to do down here, and you can see it's roaring back now, doing much better.
Roaring Kitty.
Yeah, it was down. That's from Roaring Kitty. He's cool. It was down almost 5%, and now almost cutting that in half. So big run back for Tesla, which had been a bit of a dog. We keep throwing that graphic in there, and then everyone who has cats is like, "What do you keep talking about? Dead cat?"
It's not, the cat's not dead. The cat is having fun right there. The tail's
Someone
going,
said in the chat,
smiling.
"Dead snake bounce." We should use because nobody likes snakes. I loved Snakes on a Plane, by the way. That was a fun movie, but I don't like snakes at all. Although, Sean, you know what it is that I really, really don't like.
Should I tell people? Oh, Greg, apparently. Did you hear what happened with Greg?
Thank you for not saying it. What happened?
He caught one of those, and he was saving it to show you. But
that's not even funny, man. Like,
I know, Greg. Not here. Okay, but maybe he... Are you here?
Why would he even do that?
Okay.
It's not fun.
I was wondering about that thing that you caught that you wanted to show Neil. I don't know if you still had that on there, but if Greg, I don't know, am I talking? I think I hear him answering.
There could be a problem.
I don't know if he's back.
I mean,
there.
if he does that,
or not. I know.
I'm just saying.
There could be a problem, but it could also be very, very fun for those of us that are not afraid of said thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting very, very close to Nikola. Unfortunately, guys, we did take a shot at this one. It's going to be a minuscule hit, but at the same time, it's definitely not a winner there. Is Greg over there? No. Okay, yeah. So I was just talking to myself. That's great. So yeah, it's like, Oh, man. Okay, so Nikola getting ready to take out that top. If it breaks through 70, man, we're gone. We tried this. It looks like Lucid was another. I mean, Lucid was a monster trade for me. But look where we got out, like right there, 41.20. That's like saved us the sort of pain of this upside move right here. So I'm definitely happy with that play on Lucid. Not happy with Nikola. There it goes. Nikola's out. So we will here. Let's beat this thing up here because this is kind of what Nikola's stock has been really. Just a pile of you know what. But there it is, man. Maybe Nikola. And again, I remember when I was getting sort of not mocked, but I guess maybe it was, when we were talking about this 9 long and everyone was like, no way, no way, no way. I mean, Nikola's held pretty nicely off 9 there, 20% higher to be exact, $1.80 off 9 right now. So not a bad play on Nikola, that's for sure. But whatever, 2 tiers in a bucket, you can fill out the rest on that. But
they won't know that one. That's kid in play.
Oh, that's kid in play. If you guys don't know House Party, watch House Party this weekend. I don't think Lucas would. No, yeah, he's too young. You know about that, Rob? House Party? Really? What about you, Brendan? You've seen House Party?
I had that was one of the first CDs. Yeah, remember CDs? That was one of the first CDs I bought.
I remember, yeah, the cassette tape. That's awesome, man. The cassette tape was it? Oh, so you did have
Ain't
kid in
gonna
play.
hurt nobody.
Yeah, exactly. There's some nice jams on that. You know what I like as an undercover? You'll know it, but Color Me Bad.
Come on, son.
No, but I know you know. That's why I said you'll know it, but
come on.
Color Me Bad is pretty legit, man. They have a nice jam. It's I Wanna, that's a sick jam right there. You could
probably do the rest of that.
I don't know. Color Me Bad, though, a tune. And I know Neil and I look like we're mid-20s, but obviously we grew up in different era.
All the gray coming in.
Yeah. Well, my gray is on purpose. You know, like sometimes I tell that to my kids. You know, I say like I got some makeup still stuck in my beard a little bit there. You can feel, I don't know. But anyways, okay, forget it. You can tell it's Friday here. It's only 3:06. I thought it was much later than that. So we got to, I mean, there's a lot of movement. I was thinking like, oh, maybe I should close some of these positions, but we still have a lot of time.
Oh, the market's starting
to run a little
bit.
What I'm saying.
I might reverse this affirm. Like if we're actually going to break back out here, it might be worth it. Like, I mean, I was just going to get out if it broke the top, but if it breaks, I might just reverse this position. That could be a decent way. I'd love for us to rally. I mean, obviously the NASDAQ is still down 0.5%, but I mean, Tesla's sort of leading that bit of a charge there. I didn't check back in on some of these other names. I was watching CCL, by the way. CCL had a good run today, Carnival, and then right after lunchtime, it just kind of like pooped into 22 and has been sort of slowing down ever since. But that's a stock. Like, you look at some of these levels, it's like if you're looking for a turnaround, it poops at this level. Why? Because look what happened the last time it broke 22. Huge failure. So this time, probably should have been looking out for it. That sets us up next week. Maybe you've got a little bit of a breakout off this level and with a stop at 22. That's got me thinking about CCL again next week. But I might reverse this affirm. If we're going to rally in there, maybe get 50 cents to $1 on that.
People talk about Belle Biv DeVoe. We actually talked about them yesterday because that trade was poison. Yeah, so we got to watch out for that as well.
Poor Ralph Tresvant. I mean, everybody from New Edition just blew up except for Ralph, and he was the lead singer. Tough break.
Poor Ralph. There you go.
Everyone's like, who is Ralph Tresvant? It's like
I mean, it seems like every time we talk about this, there's a lot of people on the chat that know exactly what's good. So hopefully people will get our jokes. Okay, Palantir, we just took another piece off. So Diamond Hands for this name, hopefully anyways, as it goes back up to the upside. I don't know. Normally I'd just be scalping this out. But like I said, now that we have a little bit of a rally in the market, we'll see if it's back up to VWAP. So there we go. The NASDAQ's trying, man. It's trying. Ms. V must be secretly wearing green today. As there it goes. Come on, AMC, push. As AMC just taking out VWAP right now. So we'll go a little bit of backwards flip right here. To the upside goes AMC now. Starting to finally go. This is why we put this trade on, guys. So it's starting to go back up to the upside. This is going to be a nice one. Maybe I can get that nice bottle of wine after all. As AMC, well, could have always got it, but as AMC making a nice move back up to the upside right here, and that's starting to go. Check in on Ford. Ford has been a great stock for me today. We had that bottom. We got out right there. Should have reloaded in all this barcoding, but honestly, was thinking that there was a chance that we retested some of these lows. If there's anything today or this year that I've learned, and that is patience pays. And we're doing that on a lot of these names. We're waiting for some key prices as my eyes just keep going. Look at XLE, man. We recommended this one, I don't know, weeks ago, man. People asking, what do we get into? And I even started this off, I think it was even just a couple days ago, what to invest in. And I'm just like, why not go with ETFs right now? Stick with ETFs that are moving around, that have started to break out. And the three that we talked about that I liked for sure were XLF, XLE, and then I said if you wanted a little bit of risk in your life and you want a little bit of a spicy meatball right now, then why not take a shot here on ARK? ARK today down, but it's extending down to these lows. And again, ARK back in here. I'm long 92 or something on ARK, looking to get more right now. Probably going to let it fill down a bit. But again, if oil starts to fade. Oh, the other ETF was JETS. So it was JETS, XLF, and XLE were the ones I recommended. But then I was saying that you could also sprinkle something in to ARK if you did want to get a little bit of that risk trade on. Because if XLE and or XLF start to fail, I believe it will be because there will be a rotation back into some of the newer names, that ARK holds, and we don't need to keep talking about those. We just did a thing on Roku, Twitter.
I forget.
I mean, some of these names are 52-week lows, guys.
We missed something yesterday. We were talking about the short seller report on Hindenburg, RCL.
That was a good.
And then we always sort of talk about they're always already short. Like you always have to consider it. It's not as if they're like anybody's leaning on it that day, and then it's like, oh, we're going to put the report out, then we're going to try to get into a position. So what's going to happen is you probably are already, they are already probably shorted, and then it comes out. So one of the things you usually will look for is if you hold the support, like the report comes out, it tanks down to 78, and we said this yesterday, and I don't know why I wasn't watching, I do know why I wasn't watching it today, DWAC and GameStop. But if it holds that level that it could not break on the day of the report, at the open and then tries to break back out, it usually ends up being a pretty good long because anybody that tried to swing it short essentially at the bottom after the report comes out, it's just like, well, that's nuts. I'm just going to give it up. There's no fall through, no momentum. So, and I think it was, Super SPAC. Apologies for not getting the rest of the name there in the chat saying, be careful with CCL because they could get wrapped into the RCL report. I wouldn't be thinking about that for potential like long scalp trades or long breaks next week, were it not for the fact that the reaction that RCL made to the report initially is to hold the low from yesterday and then break back out and then be in the same range as if nothing happened. And it looks like it wants to hold that range too. So you support right back to 80 that was before the report. You have the same channel here at 82.50. Now, obviously, I'm not looking at that for the breakout. I'll be looking at CCL next week because better looking chart, and it wasn't directly named in the report either. So both these names are strong and up today. But the fact that this did not fall down a second day usually is a pretty good sign. If you remember, like Citron doesn't do short sell reports anymore, but one of the things you could look for when Citron would have a report was if it did not break the low the day after their report, it was usually a golden long. Now, not a good long, but a golden long for a swing in the next week or so. And it could be true of Hindenburg and RCL, but we're just sort of seeing it today. Look how strong a chart that is, a day after a short selling report.
Yeah, Hindenburg has been getting railroaded on some of those calls. And that's why I thought that they were only going to start recommending longs. But I guess that short report there yesterday, and we traded that and hit it pretty good yesterday for sure on that one. Nike falling back down today too. Okay, Lucid, Apple, Green. We traded Apple early. We can talk a little bit about Apple early here today. Just hit it and quit it. Like it was a quick one right off the open. Nice profit taken and then out for flat. So out 2/3 profit, out again. We come right back as if the stock market didn't even trade today. Right back to open prices again. Up that 0.69 today. So right where we took it is right where we're at. So that's a level to look at. I'm thinking shorting if it gets up to 174.20. Remember, at 350, and again, it's only 315 right now, but at 350, we do have the market on close imbalances. Been a busy week, might be something on there, so you might want to watch out for that. And I just feel silly because AMC, and again, we thought there was a chance for it to moon there and just honestly get back to some of these levels. Like, why not rally into the close? I think that there's going to be a lot of tailwinds for AMC. I mean, this is the weekend. We had a couple big movies on there. Kingsman or something is coming. I know it's not Matrix this weekend, but
not yet.
I still think it's pretty hot fire. People still talking about Spider-Man. We can't go to any theaters here in Ontario. They're all closed. but AMC turns, and what I'm getting at right here is it just turned off that 23.10, man. So that was a missed opportunity right there. 23.10 on VWAP. Should have got that out. Is that Super Chicken, my man? It is. No. Whoa. Oh.
That's definitely not Super Chicken.
That's that good right there. Proudly having his hand right there.
Good.
No, he's got some, I don't know, some champagne or something. He's going to be popping it off. Great trading by Trader Prad on the Market Mover Show. So we'll celebrate that later on. Go back over to Brendan, who's got a question. Or
a few other things moving around here. Virgin Orbit got I saw a bit of a CNBC bounce there midday. Back up to 850 on what has been a pretty disappointing debut for Virgin Orbit. They were talking about their first mission that's coming up. They were talking about a couple of positives in the sense that Richard Branson's behind this. Obviously, everybody knows that, but it's well-funded and is going to remain well-funded. It sounds very similar, though, Neil. You're into this space. It sounds very similar to space. Virgin Galactic, but he basically said he's willing to pay for whatever costs arise until this business model begins to take off.
Yeah, I think you just have to understand a couple of things about, and don't get me wrong, I do believe him at his word if he says he's going to capitalize it long enough, because the true thing for making some of these plays, and go with 15 here, what making these plays work out for you is how much runway, for lack of a better term, do some of these things have to make it work, right? So Virgin Galactic, probably it's going to be a couple of years, and they have to make it that long. That's why you have to believe in believe in it till then. Now, last year when it was a pure sort of meme momentum play, that's great, you ride it up, but be very particular about trying to invest in something like this. I talked about this with Lemonade. Very specifically, that company has 2 years. If you look at the fundamentals, and if they don't get it turned around in 2 years, it's going to be kaputs. It's not going to really matter. You're just going to be holding dead weight, and they have a chance. And it's the same thing here. I would believe that they're onto something viable. I think the real superstar, and it's not publicly listed. We just talked about. I mean, Trader Prad talks about it all the time over there with SpaceX Elon. I mean, I think that dream and what they're able to accomplish is much bigger than Vor. But you can't trade them. If they were in the market, I'd be telling you to go out and buy that. But it hasn't been doing particularly well. On the second day, I was saying to Sean, I was like, every day the volume stinks. Should be looking at trying to short it because it just falls at 9:30. Well, now it might actually be trying to get to these original levels. If this revisits $10, and I'm not at least looking to try to short it at $10, I'll be kicking myself because I think that's going to be low-hanging fruit. And it doesn't mean it's going to win. Let's be honest about that. It's just those are the types of opportunities. It's an obvious level. You can see what happened since it's opened up. Outside of today catching this bounce, what has it been doing? Trend is your friend, right? And ultimately, things that aren't making money are getting punished this year. So that's where you want to do it. Speaking of things that aren't necessarily turning profits yet. It was good this morning, and I kind of went back to the well here. I said I would reverse it when the market looked like it was popping up. Well, it decided not to break the stop. I'm going to start getting out of it a little bit sooner because the market is showing signs of running. But the first leg on a firm, we're able to just take it out. I don't know. I'll do this. I'll use the slap shot, if only because I'm wearing the Leaf shirt. I guess I could have worn the jersey at some point, and we'll rock Leafs jersey. Maybe we'll do it maybe we'll do it if they actually. Well, it's not going to happen. They're not going to get fans back in the games. But anyways, we're going to start rocking this Affirm trade. But we have to start covering a little bit sooner, I think, because the market is showing signs of going to the upside. Tesla, on the other hand, pull back. And it's weird. Tesla was not following the market. Now it feels like it's moving the market around again. When Tesla bounced, the market looked like it tried to bounce back up. When Tesla rejected VWAP, we just slowed down again. So I still have this one on the radar for that $1,000 mark. Probably not going to happen with 40 minutes to go. All I got on is Tesla or is Affirm because we missed that on our. We were able to win on Peloton. That was news driven, right? You do not overtrade. The news came out on Peloton, so there was an actionable trade there. Affirm has been pretty weak, so you can kind of lean into it if you think it's going to go to the downside, and it's starting to work here. But there's not a heck of a lot popping off right now, so you want to make sure you're not overtrading. DWAC breaks the law. I'm still taking that short. That still hasn't happened yet. As a matter of fact, it's just still barcoding. It tried to break the bottom for the 5th time, and it just couldn't go. If that happens, I think there's room to run.
Yeah, there's not too much. I was thinking while I was listening to you talk there. I'm not sure why we call Prad Trader Prad. I don't say Trader Neil has this to say or Trader Brendan.
No, but it's from something.
No, it's because when we were throwing in the beginning, we were like, let's throw it over to Trader Prad and Ms. V. But we could really just say
Twitter
Prad.
Handle Trader Prad?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess so. I don't know. It's at Trader TV, I think, Prad. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'll just.
Why do we call you
it's
Trader
his
Prad?
Instagram. There you go. His name is too complicated.
His name is too complicated.
Prad.
Pradamesh Akkaraju. That's not that.
I mean, it's not. It's not that.
Yeah, no problem. I say no problem.
Bro, we're talking about. I'm saying, why do we say Trader Prad? Not your full name. Anyways, what's up to Trader Prad? Hope you're doing well, and congratulations. I was just talking there. Big comeback for Trader Prad today, so that's what it's all about, man. And that short on Rivian, I should have. It's right on the sticky note, man, for me to short that price. Like, it's right there. I said 89.50 is the price I want, and then I was just looking at Lucid and missed this, but that was a fantastic short. I know you had to hold that against yourselves a little bit there, but what a great short up to the upside there on Rivian. And if you're looking at that name, I mean, I love this 90 short. We'll look at this again on Monday, but I mean, if it comes back here today, still 40 minutes. I'm still amazed at how much time is left here. It's still 40 minutes left today, but Rivian back up to 90. That could be, you know, an area that I'm looking at. So if that comes ripping through, we will look at that one more time. Tesla, I guess, did that bounce off 1,000 roughly. I don't know. It's close enough now to come back in. That's a 20-minute chart. On a 1 minute, it went to 1,010, but a nice little move right back to VWAP. You can see here, it's tried every time to sort of get there. Obviously, it misses it here by about $5. The same thing here, and right now it gets real close one more time. So, you know, to short these tops would have made a little bit of sense there. But for right now, not much happening. Palantir, though, is starting to go back up to the upside. Hopefully it can take out some of those levels, and then we'll go. Just looking for some more names. Could get into Microsoft here. Do we think it's going to be a long into the close? That's really the question. And then if it is, let's find some names to get into. What's up, Brendan?
Not the first time this week I've mentioned this name, ATA Creativity Global, Chinese little micro cap. I guess it was 2 or 3 days ago. This thing popped up probably about this time in the afternoon. There's been some random volume spikes on this throughout the day, but AACG just starting to go once again.
What got away? Oh, first of all, guys.
The thing got away.
Like count right now, 500 likes. Like, maybe we just shouldn't do this show anymore. 500 likes, 3,000 watching, guys. If we can get that like count, we're always at least a G note by the time today is going. But obviously, we realize we don't have any Miss V around, so the like o'clock has been lacking a clock today. So let's get those likes. If you can, just turn that frown upside down. There it is, 100 right away. Thank you so much to everybody watching. If you can, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And the reason why, like it, share it, promote it for us, whatever, retweet. We have a good sticky note out today. Our watch is completely free as well. Help us tell everybody on YouTube where the best show is, and hopefully that would be us, in your opinion, as well. MRIN is another name.
Yeah, it just started popping.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Oh, you're already on it.
I can come to the levels for you guys because I traded this a couple times. First time in the morning off the 450 to 460 level. That's this level here. Got stopped out. Then we shorted off the top at 5. That was the other level, and that worked like gangbusters. Oddly enough, it held the support at 420 initially, and I got out of it, and then it went down to 410. So I want no part of this unless I'm getting $5, right? Like, I think it has a decent chance that it could be trying to break back out again. And I wouldn't be, if I zoom in a little bit further, I wouldn't be shocked if it just decides to sit in this cluster here. The last time it failed at $5, like previous to that, it was sitting at a 420 to 460 level and then came down. So it gets a news bump today. It wouldn't be crazy to think that it's just going to sit in that range, like 420 to 460, and it could settle down there. So I'm not going to run in and sort of just jump around and say, yeah, let's just short this one right here. I think the Affirm is a similar setup at VWAP short, but that has more to do with the overall market, that if we fall, I think Affirm's going to go down. Like the NASDAQ and the ES could both drop to the low and sell off to end the day, and Marin's not going to do a thing. It could easily just sit there. Whereas if the market falls, there's no way Affirm's not going to work. And I think that's the difference between those two. That AACG that Brendan brought up, that Brendan brought up there, that would be a little more interesting off of those highs. Like, it just spiked through 250. That's a good psychological level. I mean, you have some rejection in the daily chart just above that 250 level, and it has a history of coming back in. So that's setting up that it could give you that failed break at this price, which it might have already done, to be honest with you. And then that gives you an actionable trade. Its volume's starting to slow down, so I'm not really going to force myself into that stock, but Affirm is going to work out, I think. Hour, unfortunately, I talked about the opportunity cost of jumping over into another name, or at least putting that stop order on DWAC, because Hour did another capitulation here. So I always say if you're going to short these, have a set of rules, and that's what keeps me afloat is you have a tight stop and you want to get back in when it capitulates, but you can miss out on that trade. If you just average to the tits, you're still going to be in it when it drops, but I'm not really about that when you're trading a small cap like this. Like when there's plenty of liquidity, that's a different ballgame. But when you're trading one of these, well, you just average to the tits, you might be stuck in that short averaged in when it gaps up and when it runs into a halt. And then you're not talking about ruining your day at that point. Like, do you remember, like, you see DWAC on the first day? I remember GameStop. Like, imagine averaging into one of those things and then it goes in one of those halts up. Like, that's the downside of shorting this averaging in isn't that it breaks 10.50 and you get out and lose $1. It's that you get trapped and lose 4 or 5. And we actually, I try to tell traders that. It's like, don't always think about it as only your stop. If you're trading something that's not liquid, think about what happens if you dig yourself into the hole and miss. And what's the real downside of that trade? And don't let it end your career or ruin your month. Sometimes you have to think in those terms, and as I say that, people are saying there's not enough animations. Oh goodness, I'm on a terrible page for that. Got nothing. I got this one, because that's on it.
All right, yeah,
We had 2 ideas. One of them was Peloton, the other one's Affirm. Affirm's starting to roll back over, and this is without the market even going. So now I don't even have a bid. I'll adjust my stop, but I'm not even going to bid this, because if the market accelerates, we're going to get a 79 break, and we're probably going to head closer to 78. So we're probably going to be able to get there. What's so funny about me saying average to the tits?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I wasn't going to get involved there. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know if it's appropriate or not. I don't know.
I can't say that. My bad. My bad if I can't say that.
If you can or not.
Is it cool to say? If it's not, it's fine. I don't
know.
I won't say it.
I mean, if they don't think it is, I don't know. Whatever. Okay. So new position alert on that one. Been a roller coaster ride today for Facebook, up and down. What's up to Meta Universe right now? But we'll hit that. Alert, as we're going to go short side on this name. So, it just broke through VWAP here. I like it. I looked at the market, and I'm trying to make the same call as I did yesterday. Although yesterday, we were more near some of these lows when we started to break. I just looking at this, thinking that we're starting to break to the downside. We only have 35 minutes left in the day. If the market does retrace back down, a name that we hit yesterday for that dollar was Facebook. So we're short right now, 90s. We'll get some out at 50s because that's what we do. 50s is down in here. So into this cluster, if we could take a quick bid there, we'll make that money on Facebook. Out if we're wrong up here near 33.60, 333.60. So $333.60 is where we'll get out, and we'll average up into this one as well. So let's see if it can come back down to the downside right now. We did get a super chat. I think it was over Discovery, DISCA. I think there was some misspelling there. Let me know if I can go find that super chat quickly. We never want to ignore them, but again, there it is right here. What's up to Andrew Harris? Thank you so much for the $5. I believe you meant DISCA. I didn't even look up KA, but that's probably the right one. So Discovery today, if Brendan can remind us on the news today, but a big move to the upside. I was debating sending out to everybody Viacom, Via C, as a potential trade because, again, just if you're going to look at some of these streaming services and content, like I talked about with Netflix, Viacom is definitely, I think Viacom is only like at 7 or 8 times earnings. So, talk about a name that was been a little bit beat down lately, Viacom. And the same thing with Discovery, too. If you look at this, what a dump off. There was some hedge fund issues here. Wasn't Discovery and Viacom
they fell
not Evergrande, obviously,
no,
the other one.
They got caught up in that hedge fund.
Exactly. So I think it's just starting to make some moves backside, but I like Discovery, but let's go to Brendan quickly.
There was a couple of things, actually. This Brahmin Capital Corporation reporting 5.26% stake in the company. That was via an SEC filing. And there was also a Bank of America upgrade. They were talking very positively on that note about all of this group, but specifically Discovery, guys, the A or K.
Okay, so yeah, based on news, based on some positive sentiment there from different analysts and different shops. I mean, I like the name. I don't think you buy it today up 16%. But again, if the market does fall in a little bit more, you can take these guys right now and just say, you know what? I'm going to defend this price. You're at 29 and change. Obviously, you're closer to 30. You're taking out the 200 period. We've seen where this can go to. But remember, I keep forgetting the name of. Bill Huang Fund. Okay, but what was
but it was the name. But the name of the hedge fund.
Archipelago.
Archipelago. Yeah, it was Archipelago.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Okay, so that's what it was. Ooh, wow. So sometimes the old noggin working out right there, but a nice little move back up to
Archagos.
Whatever. Same thing as we go. Okay, right there. There it is right now. We've got the winner on right there. So regardless of what the name of said fund is, Facebook down to the downside right now. There it is. So there's 50 cents in our pocket on Facebook, or 40 cents, sorry. We take the first little bit there at 52 or whatever I got filled on there, 52. So we take the out at 52 off the short 99. So we'll see, that's 40 cents there. We'll see if it can come back in even further. I'm looking at it taking out this level on Facebook, but we did it yesterday and it looks like we're doing it again. So we'll stamp a fail onto Facebook right now and see if we're going to be right about that. Failing back down into some of these levels. 32 flat would be pretty good. We could take $1 on this name. We probably should do that. AMC trying to make another move up to 23 change. It did do that. It looks like it went to 23.07 or so before stopping. So I'm going to learn my lesson now with only 30 minutes left. Take away 10 from that for the imbalances. So we have about 15 to 20 minutes left for AMC to make another move. So I'm pretty happy if we get this out around here, man. 23. Let's put an order at 23.05. If I can, at the end of the day there, take 40 cents, 45 cents on AMC, $1 and change on Facebook, and then just sort of sleep on this Palantir, then I'd be pretty happy. So new position, Facebook took the profit, looking to get out of AMC right there.
Yeah, Xander in here have been asking about Amazon for a little bit, and we just talked about it's come up a few times, and look, I'm all over Prime, man, and it's just whether it's to watch some great shows. Patriot's a great show on Prime. If you haven't checked it out, it's really, really cool. But like I also use for deliveries, and I love the company. And if you're thinking about something in the long term, first of all, like the last couple of years, if you just let it bounce to the low end of the range every time they report, you can scalp 10% out of it. It's basically been a cheat code for that. And they're in the midst of another bit of a downturn because, you know, like the FANG names, outside of like the other day, Facebook had like when Facebook was up 4% and the other names were down. Outside of that, it's been pretty quiet for these names to start the year. But you can see in this channel, it gets pretty good. And I want to sort of I'd rather be in too early than miss out on something. So for me, it's been an ad in front of that 3,000 mark. If it can get down there, at some point they're going to break out. You might have to be patient and wait for it. But this is a company that I don't think you have to run the risk of things getting out of hand in a couple of years, right? Like this is not something that's that could burn you, where you're putting it in that bucket of, oh, if I invest in Virgin Galactic or Fubo TV, that you could be sitting on basically losing everything. And that you can make shot plays, but I like Amazon here, and you can get it at a bit of a discount. Like it's now pulled back like a good 15% from its highs, right? So that's a good entry point there for you guys. I love Amazon here. It's a good opportunity for it. Just understand, it has not really broken out of this range. It's grinding higher. At some point, I think it's going to do so. You just have to be patient with it, but a good safe name.
Grinding, yeah. So right there, we got a nice little out right there, as we'll hit the siren one more time for you, because yeah, that seemed to be a good idea on AMC here in the afternoon. Took that trade. Hopefully you guys did as well. We just take that out. We said we'd get out at 05 or 03, whatever it was. It just goes right there, and there it is. Nice little trade for us on AMC. So there we go, guys. Good out for us. What just happened to Facebook? Facebook just blew up there. Good thing we got out. Now I guess we oversized long now. I don't know. Or not oversized, sorry. We got into the long. It just ripped up there. So I think we can hold on to this long right now, but definitely we will go. So we celebrated our AMC, and we basically just gave back AMC there and on this name. So we draw a line in the sand, and it looks like we got that out there on Facebook as the market. Wow, like how aggressive is that, man? Like, look, this is just instant pop there.
Everything
on Facebook.
just popped.
So yeah, okay. I mean, I'll take it so far. But yeah, not a good trade there on Facebook. Good thing we took half out there, but we averaged in there and then got out. That's why it looks like I'm a little bit longer than I need to be. So we'll get out of this one and then reassess this. But I think I still want to go short off that pop.
I mean, green candles across the board, like the NASDAQ, ES, Tesla, the chart I happen to have up, and then I was sitting in the money on a firm, and now it's almost back to even, right? Like it was grinding again to the downside. About 70 pennies in the money, looking to take that last leg out. Well, I wanted to either hold or take that last leg out closer to 350. We're still at 333, and it's still grinding to the upside. We're bouncing to the upside with the rest of the market. But if it rolls over here, it could be a chance to add. So right back to, well, at about the same prices. I think I'd hold out for closer to VWAP. We can be picky closer to the end of the day. No need to rush. We've just really had 3 trades. It's been it's been the stock hour. It's been Affirm, and it's been Peloton, which was already a winner, and then MRIN. Like I said, the reason why I wasn't going to trade it, even though the setup was the same as a firm, and it would have worked out, but that doesn't mean that it was the right, it was the right or the wrong thing to do. Like it's the same type of setup. It's a stock which had come back down, was trying to grind a little bit higher off of VWAP, but it's overall weak, and it's right there at a key level. I'm going to say it at least 25 to 30 more times. Then just come right back down.
I was doing it. I apologize. I mean, I was trying to listen to you, but honestly, I was just watching this Facebook, and like I just took I reshorted.
What was that wick?
I mean, I just made back what I lost. Like, I don't know. The NASDAQ popped up there. Facebook did as well. And we just took it short. Like, we got blown out there. We took it short again. Like, I guess it's funny because, like, we just get ticked out there. Like, that's hilarious. But there it goes now, making move to the downside. And now all of a sudden we have a 50-cent winner back on for Facebook. So, hey, I don't know. It's going to be
I'm going to call out Greg.
Be a positive name here. Yeah, go. What's up?
Because you said that he caught something and he was going to show him.
Yes.
He says, and I'm calling you out, Greg. I cannot confirm or deny that.
I can do all of those.
And then he said, I had no idea about that phobia. I'm not saying it out loud, but like pretty much everybody around here knows about it.
What do you mean confirm and deny?
He's going to talk about he didn't know that?
He didn't know what?
The phobia. He didn't know about it. Okay, Greg.
So let's just put it this way,
Greg.
Neil, let's put it this way. If he didn't know about it, then why would have he told me that he grabbed it, right? To save it for you. So Greg has some splaining to do, my friend.
You know the crazy thing about it, and this is what you have kids, so you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm going to say here. I actually if one is around and my daughter gets afraid of it, then I'm not in that moment, but only in that moment. Like other times, it's like, but nothing else. It doesn't make a difference. For my wife, she's killing it for me. But it is what it is. Anyways, that doesn't really matter too much. Wow, Greg. Wow, that's all I got to say. So that weird candle that you just showed on Facebook. So a firm which made the same move, it went like 70 pennies up. It's right back 70 pennies down. So
yeah, we got duped up. Come on, kind of crazy. Give me that again. Yesterday we were talking like a squirrel looking for that nut, and right now we almost got it again. We were waiting in the 70. Oh no, we did get it. Yes, sir. Okay, I was gonna say we almost got it, but we did. So it actually did run down against me there. So there it is, man. We just took another trade there. That's another 80-cent win on Facebook. So we did get blown out there at the top, but like I didn't believe that move, and you heard me say it. So there it is, right back down for Facebook. So yeah, almost case closed on Facebook. So I'll hold this last piece. Hey, you want to take it out again? Let's do that. But until then, I'm going to wait again for one of these plays. So we get back that money on Facebook, and you tried to take that away, but no. Denied right there on that Facebook. So wow, that still sucks. Like if I could just take back that 1 minute candle, we would be monstrous because that short would be cash money, but we'll wait on that one as well. Okay, let's just check back. We got out of AMC. Please tell me this thing's not flying too far. Okay, good. So there it is. I mean, not good. I know a lot of you are long, but there's AMC out. AMC's good today. In, out, in there, out. So those were good. In again, outs, in and out. So absolutely no losing trades on AMC today. It's one of my number one names for you here today as well. So that's going to be a good one. I'm still interested in DraftKings, although it's starting to tick a bit up. Maybe we're wrong on this name. We shorted it. My number one stock today, net-wise, is going to be, it's going to be close to a few names, but it's going to be DraftKings as we shorted that one into oblivion. It's going to look like, oh, well, these aren't profit-taking, but they are. This was a way oversized. I mean, if you watch the show, go back to our morning show at about 10 o'clock, and you'll see how nervous I was because we did have a lot of shares there. My out wasn't even going to be 28. We were actually holding this, which was stupid because now that I think about the risk, well, whatever. I mean, I planned it. We were going to give this all the way to 29. So this was either going to be a real big bad trade or a good one, and it turned out today to be the latter. So a good trade there on DraftKings. And then unfortunately right now Palantir Roblox. Roblox was another good trade actually. Click on this by accident. You could see the Roblox trade today. We talked about it barcoding here, and then look at this drop off on Roblox. As soon as it broke through 85, we took the short. First out there, 84.20, so that's 80 cents. And then our last out was 83.50, so that's $1.50. We almost took the bottom. We were sitting there debating taking that bottom wick, or this bottom area. We didn't. We waited for it to break out in case the market kept going to the downside. But Roblox, that's another name, man. Like when I look at some of these trades, we talked about Roku, Roblox. I bought it here on earnings, which is really lucky. Normally I don't do that, but it was during the whole like metaverse is the best type of thing. So I knew if they had a good earnings report, then it would be an upsized move. So there it is. We were cashing out all the way up. I remember even when I came in this day, we got some out 105, 106, and I think my best out is in the 130s. Definitely not on the high 130s, but low side, and then definitely more in here. I believe I still have about 30% though, long 77 on Roblox.
I just want to show, we show winners and losers around here, but I just want to show this hour trade because sometimes you miss out on something and you like a short off a level. And I even said it, like I can say fail break at 10 all I want. Now it's down at $8. So this could really start to capitulate. Got to cover it because it's moving here, even though I'm not in it. I might not be in anything else. I might not be in anything else for the rest of the day outside of this Affirm. I am kind of watching Marin here pretty closely just in case I see an opportunity. And I was right. Pratt did have the shirt. And he has the Archegos shirt, risk management. So it's not just the Lehman Brothers shirt that he has.
Nope.
It's the Archegos risk management department. And if you're part of both of those, like you throw in Enron, and that's like that's the trifecta.
Like, why do these companies keep hiring Pratt?
I don't understand.
Like,
what does that even? What does that mean for us?
And then we did. Like, I feel like we're getting like the rug pulled over. You know?
Yeah, we're screwed, bro.
You see, Pratt. Now at least people know why I'm on the show, and it's because he's giving me gifts, Palantir hats. So yeah, but hopefully he doesn't. See, the best part about it is now is when he was working at Lehman and now Archegos there, he's blown other people's money. At least now when he trades, he blows his own money.
It's
so
true.
That's at least important to us for that one. But
strike one for him.
Strike one, eh?
Strike
yeah.
one.
Okay. Well, Greg can have some explaining to do at the end here today because he knows what I'm talking about, and I'm glad it's only strike one, but we'll see what happens here coming forward. So yes, Greg, the man, the myth, the legend. You guys all know Greg. He's been on our show a couple times, and hopefully he
won't pop his head up, but because none of these cameras really catch him.
Yeah, shout out to Greg.
He strategically has his desk so that you can't. He won't do it. He's behind.
He manages the prop floor.
He's everyone else is remote, but he just sort of manages the floor for us here. Yeah, I mean, hour is going to be hour. It's going to do what it does here. I'm actually also watching Tesla, but we should come back to, there's two names. I know you were talking about Rivian as well. Sorry, Lucid, but Rivian as well. It's weird because Tesla's pushing off the bottoms. Lucid and Rivian were coming back off the tops, which is a bit different from what I guess people might expect. But going into the potential imbalances coming out in like the next 8 to 10 minutes, it kind of goes without saying. After the moves that got sustained here, I had one trade on Rivian, by the way. And I'm going to kick myself because when we sat down, I liked the 930 rollover trade and then took the breakdown trade instead. The only thing that was disciplined about it was not just jumping back in. But I think we could see imbalances and moves at the end of the day, specifically on the EV names.
Oh, yeah.
Brendan's got something for us.
Just noticing some of the chip makers, TSM specifically, popping back up on some volume here, back to day lows after a decent week for this thing, 114 up to 134. But some selling coming in here, down to 123.75 again for TSM.
Man, that reminds me because today I was just like, because today we had Micron on our mind and we absolutely forgot about it. We trade often AMDs and NVIDIAs, and we'll step into some Intel sometimes. Not really, just AMD and NVIDIA, it seems like recently. But we noticed here that Micron again today, when we opened up the day, it was a little high. Like, look at this, $97. Like, when you look at this is what I was looking at here on the daily chart for Micron. Like, we opened up above all these levels today. Like, this is 97 right here. So we opened up above 97 today. That was an absolute, in my opinion anyways, like looking at it, whatever, we make mistakes, but that was a pretty close to a no-brainer short because you could have just used the all-time high of 98.50 or so that I believe was made on like a wick or a pre-market high maybe into here. So even if you use 98 as a high, I guess it was up here for a day, but it was just off the open and then it crashed. So, I mean, this was a very, very valid level, and it was just not even, as I zoom in, this was just on the 5th. And this is what I mean. Look at this rally off the open, made these highs, and then crashed the rest of the day. Like down from 98, down $4. So that was Smooth $4 straight to the downside. And then today, it gives you the same trade again. It gives, well, I mean, not 98s, but it gives you this 97 that you should have shorted or could have, and then right back down $3. So, yeah, that was a good trade. We'll keep Micron on the mind for Monday because if we open up anywhere, I mean, unless the market's screaming, if we open up anywhere around here, because you look at a stock like AMD, and again, this is the same zoomed in chart. Look, like just straight down. I believe AMD, although AMD is not DRAM and things like that like Micron is, but you still do have, you know, a beautiful move to the downside here on AMD and doesn't really look like it, unfortunately, wants to stop. So we'll see about a reload area for AMD in our own account, but right now, pretty much in, where's the gates of hell? This is pretty well appropriate here. I always do that. No, this is congratulations. That's Bitcoin. That's not gates of hell. That's almost the opposite of that one right now. But it seems like here it is right now. AMD, I got it. AMD right now, there it is. Been put in, and our friend Jim Cramer says the penalty box. So right now, AMD in the penalty box. Brendan.
I might want to check some of Chamath's. So wasn't it Chamath's IPOF or something like that was linked to Reddit at one point, if I remember correctly? Apparently, this is coming up. Bloomberg saying 15 billion coming. They've tapped both. Who was it? Bank of America or Morgan Stanley. Goldman Sachs and Bank of America for their IPO, guys.
Oh,
and we still don't know when, though.
They chose IPOF already or whatever?
This is their own IPO, not a SPAC.
Oh, they're not SPACing it. Okay, good. Okay, thank God. Yeah, because I was saying under my breath there that Chamath, like, honestly, Clover, what is...
You're just saying that because of the school thing.
No, my kid goes to Waterloo. Yeah, but look at Open Door. No, it's just like, you know, these guys, they come, they pump up some of these ideas, and I apologize if Open Door is not his, but, you know, they pump these ideas, they tell you how great it is, you know, this is the next greatest thing, and now Open Door is down to $11.
Look where he talked up Bitcoin, by the way.
Look where he talked up Bitcoin. Look where he talked up GameStop. Look where he talked up AMC. Look at all this stuff. I remember him tweeting, oh, you know, long AMC calls or long GameStop calls, whatever it was. Look at Clover. Yeah, that was a good one as well, right? I mean, I'm in Clover, but again, they're not big positions, but they are positions. Clover down again today. 52.
Open Door was his, though.
Yeah, Open Door was his. So there you go. 52-week low there. Why don't you do a little bit better research? Like, look at 27, 28, 29. And look, I pull the trigger going into these names. So it's not, you know, buyer beware.
You know what's reasonable for SPACs?
Do your own due diligence.
What's reasonable for SPACs is if you actually buy the issue, because when they get a deal, you actually have the ability to just be like, no, I don't like that. I'll just take my $10.
Okay.
And you can do your own diligence, right? So, but when you do it, when you buy these things after the fact, it's like, it's such a crapshoot. Oh yeah.
Remember yesterday when everyone was like, oh, you know, Dave.
There was like nobody saying that, by the way.
Shout out. No, well, we talked about it. No, I'm saying it came out to market and it was up. And I said, in a few days, this thing will be $5 or $6. I mean, I almost wish we could find that clip, to be honest with you, Brendo, because when you brought this to us yesterday, I said, this stock is, I mean, what was it, Mark Cuban? So there you go. How does that taste right now today? So yeah, I'm in this great IPO. Yeah, guys, good opportunity to get long. Another great opportunity. Yeah, okay, thanks for coming out there, Dave. And a big shout out to, I don't know if your name is Dave or whatever that. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Jake. Sean said exactly that yesterday, okay? So there it is there. I don't know who brought up Dave, but there it is. Thank you so much, because now at least I can pat myself on the back right there for that call. But yeah, there you go, man. Like, I'm done with all this stuff. Let's just trade real stocks for once.
So, someone brought up the banks about like 5 minutes ago, I think. I saw it, at least I saw it in the chat because JP Morgan was making a high of the day. So it is worth pointing out here. We like to try to talk about relative strength of the market. The NASDAQ's about to touch 1% down, and the ES is doing better, but still in negative territory. And just want to have a quick look at, because Morgan Stanley hasn't broken the top. That's the one I like. Talk about the $100 level being a good reload point. It's had a pretty good week bouncing off of that price level. I would zoom out, but I'm strategically not getting all those crazy wicks. So I can show you it's running into some resistance at 105, and it hasn't broken out yet. But there was There's a line of thought that one of the reasons why the banks didn't have the move that you would expect, given what's going on with the Fed and some of the growth names, was that they had been on too much of a tear and were a bit overbought. So some consolidation might be necessary. That's reasonable, and I might believe in that myself. But I think you got to have some exposure to those financials, because this is a year where you want things that are going to have certain money coming into them, and that's just a reality for the banks. Like I said, I'm a Morgan Stanley guy. With only 2 minutes to go till imbalances come out, not the close. The only thing I got on is load, affirm, load.
Have a good weekend, Daryl, as well.
There we
some
go.
people, finally starting to. Yeah, go ahead, talk about your affirm there, guys. Let's get to that 1K likes, man. We just did a little bit of a rant there, and I hope that it means we can get some more likes. But what do you want to do with the affirm?
I'm just going to say, I'm going to hold this one through the imbalances because it's right on this bottom, and it can't really, if it breaks this, it's about 79.70. It'll still be like basically a flat trade or maybe just a slight winner. So I can put a stop, like a trail, in the top end of this range and then just hold it through. So if it breaks a low, I get a bigger winner. If it breaks the top, I essentially get the last third out flat. So I'm going to put that. It's not really a bracket order because I'm just trailing it. But I'm going to hold on through the imbalances, which I don't always do. But this time I think it feels like a pretty safe play. It's not to say that I think a firm is going to have an imbalance. It's just that it might move at 350 when the imbalances do drop. and if I'm the right way, bank error in my favor. If not, it's still not a losing trade, and we've won on a firm today.
Yeah, we like that, and that's sort of what I'm doing right now with Facebook, and that is whoops, did I just cancel? No, it's okay. I'm still doing this with Facebook right here. We are in the money 50 cents. It's been bouncing around. We did have it in the money almost $1.80 just a couple seconds ago, but we are getting ready with only 30 seconds to go. We will focus on these imbalances, so let's call them up right now for you quickly. Whoops, there it is right there. Nothing right now, but in approximately, so right now, just so you know how far behind you are, it's 349.41. 42 in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Cold. And hopefully you guys saw my Twitter post. We had a nice skyline view, not really, just the CN Tower. Toronto has an amazing skyline, obviously. Probably you guys know that anyways. Okay, so let's get ready to rock and roll now to the downside on maybe Facebook. Let's see where these imbalances are taking us. We got BAC to the sell side. We've got BP to the buy side. Intel sell side. Palantir with a little baby buy there. We'll take it as we're long on Palantir. There's Mr. Softy going to the downside possibly. And that is that. So let's wait to see what happens with FB right now. $1 in the money as Facebook starting to head lower. That's a good look. AFD a buy as well there, Neil.
Yeah, a lot of these tend to pair, like some of these names are auto pair off. Like Intel pairs off every single time, so that never really matters to it. Verizon is the kind of name that always pairs off. I'm not really seeing anything too sexy. Walmart, 600,000 for Walmart. Not entirely crazy. A firm didn't have an imbalance of note, at least not that I could see. So I'm not really too concerned about that. But at the end of the day, we held on to it. I might just have to cover for flat. I still have my stop order to go. But I might just decide to take it into my own hands here, right? Like, there's no need to allow it to run. I thought if the market headed downside and we had a bunch of sell imbalances, which overall, it felt pretty mixed. Like, for every buy, I see at least a sell about the same size. So if it's going to be mixed, then there's no need to get too frisky about it. I'll probably just cover it anywhere inside of the range as we get closer to 355. Only 8 minutes to go in the week. Nothing too crazy happening here unless you're watching a small cap. Like that hour, the failed break at 10, it's just hugging $8. So that stock just died a small death. And that's the thing. When these go, the reason why, to me, it's like you look for a short in this because you only have to hit it once. And that's the thing. As long as you keep it to tight stops, you only have to hit it once. And to that effect, the only loss I had today was on longs on this stupid thing. But we'll see what happens next week. I'm looking at for CCL for a potential break. I'm going to be trading a firm almost every single day. And Tesla 1,000, we'll see if that comes back into play. Decent bounce off 1,000 today for Tesla, but it's been super weak this entire week. I just said that.
Super weak this entire week.
I know.
Good one. Yeah. No, bad. Facebook, we got out on a little bit of that bump up there, so we take like a 30 print, I think, on Facebook. So as that breaks up, we got out on a 25 break. It didn't go down. I mean, it did go down initially and then stopped. So we don't need to play that game. We can take a quick look again at the imbalances. We'll look at the Toronto ones just in case you're trading on the TSX as well. Absolutely nothing to report on here. Not even a big name to even talk about on here. Suncor, maybe. Kinross is there. Synovus, CVE. I don't know what that trust is there. And there's CIBC just showed up there as a bid. So CM there. So you could take a look at that if you want. Still not a whole crazy amount of volume on that, but here's our look, what we're doing right now. Ooh, ATVI. Activision Blizzard did have GameStop starting to move around as well. Palantir gave us an opportunity to get out. So right now we are in the money 5 cents. Hopefully Palantir can come up. I'm sitting at 65. Like the thing is, look, man, there's just nothing happening. I don't even know if we can get through these levels with only 7 minutes to go. We could take the profit here, but this is another name that we've bought here live for you on the show. We bought 56s, our best out 64. We have some 60s there as well. So yuck, nothing really happening. Hopefully we get up to 65 and make a little bit of money. AMC was a good call for us live on the show for you as well. Boomed that to the upside. We do have one loser on. That was Nikola. That's now come back in. That was about as, easy and quick of a trade there. Not much happening on that one, but so far so good here into the close. Nothing really moving, and I'll take it.
GameStop is moving, but it's been relatively slow. I've only put we put in 3 trades, and just to go 2 for 3, and one of which I've been in pretty much the entire show is at a firm. But GameStop, okay, yes, bouncing from 136 to 143. GameStop from the top actually dropped $30 today. 3-0. And one of the things that when we look at the trade of the day, it isn't so much about taking the breakout and why not to hold it on the way back or try to hit the home run. It was more about where that turned into a short and why we should have it and how we should be looking to get into that the next time. Even if you had a long bias to start the day, there were some signals that could get you into that short trade. And as I say it, give me a break. As I say that, when we talked about it, right at the end of it, you'll get the chance to see after 4 o'clock, was talking about this 143 price area. You have to go to the higher time frame to be able to check that out, and then you see it turn here. So that's a big move. Obviously, $7, $5-6 actually. You don't want to sniff at that at all. But in the context of how this has moved, not much of a continuation, and it's still fading in from that monster gap up that it had. So, GameStop, maybe it's going to be back on the radar. Ultimately, what you end up having here on the daily chart is a failure to break out of the range that we've been talking about every time I bring it up. This 160, it can't hold above that price, and if it doesn't for a long enough time, you could see that 120 break. And if that happens, look, there's some obvious levels here. I remember pretty vividly that drop down past 100 the last time it did so. So if you see that happen again, it was like several halts to the downside, and then it was just a jailbreak long. So when 100 comes on GameStop, if it does, I should say, that'll be a day that every day trader in the world will be looking at it for sure.
Yeah, I might just get out here. It doesn't look like Palantir wanted to go to that level, so we're long at 56. We can just take a 59 and take that out. We'll wait to see if it pops a little bit more, but no point in even taking a loser on this name, so we'll see here what does happen. Maybe we get that 59 after all. I don't know, Goldman. What did I miss on Nike here? Because, Nike is falling down 2%. I don't know what the story was today with this name, so I apologize on it. But, definitely just a destruction here on NKE the last little while. Again, they supply chain, blah, blah, blah. I still like Nike on long right down here, believe it or not. Didn't take anything out on the top, and nor do I really want to. But right now, Nike... go ahead.
Under Armour's down twice as much. So
Oh, no, I don't. That's what I was going to say. I don't think it's specific to the stock. It's just downside there, breaking through. Some traders probably selling some of these newer kind of. Remember, they went into digital, so that was kind of the reason why to buy them. But again, I don't know. I don't think Nike should be down here, and I think it's a buying opportunity for a lot of these names right now. But there's so much to get out for your shopping list that. I think you just keep nibbling here as we go, and everything will be okay. But whether or not you think the market is coming up to a peak or not, I don't think the charts really tell us that. The S&P 500, we'll have Arun. He's going to be coming through every morning at 9 a.m. for us. But, we're just back to the 50-period moving average right now on the SPY. We're not even back to, we're back to December 22nd levels. I just, for me, the market seems to be fine, but there are obviously a handful of names, smaller cap names, new names that have been just getting absolutely destroyed. So yeah, as long as your money's in some of the bigger ones, you've been fine, but it's been a little bloody here. So, try to be reasonable with this. You can see the S&P very, very high, and then check out, we're almost done the show here, but just to get a point across, look at the NASDAQ. So the S&P's at the 50-period moving average. Wait till you see where NASDAQ is, if again, there it is, well below now the 50-period moving average. So it's pretty obvious where the trouble is, and I would just say keep nibbling on some high-quality names and let the NASDAQ sort itself out.
Yeah, and one of the things that, by the way, I stopped out of a firm when it broke back VWAP there. So someone's pointing at a firm broke VWAP. Yeah, you saw that position come off for me. I just wanted to roll the dice a little bit on the last part of the trade. And partly it was because I thought the market might continue to roll over, which starting to slide back down again. NASDAQ down 1%. And the only reason I brought up Under Armour is that when you see something dropping or making a big move, and you're like, oh, that's a little bit weird, the first thing usually I want to see is, well, what's going on in the sector? Like, pull up a related name so I have a bit of a pulse on what was going on. That's the only reason I even brought up Under Armour there, to note, okay, well, sure, Nike's down, but another similar retailer.
Hold on. Just quickly, because I'm a little disappointed at the like count. Boo. We'll get Maggie on the bell if we can get this to like 1.2K likes. So we'll get Maggie on the bell. If this gets to 1.2K likes, you see Maggie. If not, you see Lucas. I think either one
the black
is
belt
worth it. The black belt, maybe karate kicks the bell.
Are they both all
or you get Maggie on there.
They're both in all black, by the way.
Yeah, they're, oh no. It's 1.1K. We're starting to get going here.
Everyone's
so
wearing
if
black
you want to see Maggie,
Brennan.
you got to hit that right now to come through on that one right there. So, yeah. Or we can get Prad. For me, my choice would always be Prad. My choice is there. Yeah, he like it. My choice is never Arun. So as long as that is the case as well, because A, Arun looked like a man possessed, and B, he almost broke the bell and the mallet.
I'm not trying to
right
look
there. So
we don't need to buy
it's 1.3K. So what about a combo of Prad and? Yeah, we can. Yeah, Prad's dribbling over there. What about let's get Prad and Maggie. So hurry up, Maggie. It's almost time right now. We only have 30 seconds to go. It's 1.3. Don't run.
Share the mallet.
Don't run.
We don't need you fall. You don't want to fall.
Prad will give the Maggie. See, there you go. Prad will give it to Maggie because that is just the kind of guy that Prad. They still want you there, bro. Yeah, both.
Yes, you're both.
Combo hit. If you just can lower it, as we only have 10 seconds right now. There it is. You guys hit the like button, so there it is. You're gonna get it. Let's hit that with only 6, 5, 4, 3. This is very melodramatic. 2 and 1. Yeah. Maggie has like the drum mallet, like that's covered in what appears to be cotton or something right there. So there it is, guys. You made that dream work. 1.3K. Thank you, Prad. Thank you, Maggie.
Before we go to Brendan,
go ahead.
Because Nick Dubs has always been fantastic, and I know he sends the super chats, and I think you might have asked about BEKE like several times here. So very quickly, look, strong day for them. They're able to close above the 50 period and try to break this. They kind of right at the end, it broke this $21 level. So I'm assuming you got this one off of like a 17 or 18, that support level. We'll see what happens next week for them, but it's a definite target up at that 26. 200 period, that's shooting for rarefied air because you look at that gap fill that it put in. I think it'll have some trouble there, but that should be on the radar. It's trying to break out. It held that high, up that 10%. No pullback at the end of the day, so good sign for them. The market, we kind of talked about it at the end of the day there, the NASDAQ itself, but how did everything else finish up there, Brennan?
Yeah, pretty ugly to the downside. The Dow held on, but 0.42 there for the S&P. The Dow was off the highs, in fact, back to 0.13. NASDAQ leading once again. We won't talk about cryptos because it's been a rough week overall for cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, 42. Week, it hasn't been great. Yeah, you're right. Obviously, 42,000. Ethereum touching 32 today as well. Down to 31 actually, Brendo, at one point there, and some of the other names not doing well either. But a fantastic day. Everyone loving the show. So thank you so much for the support.
And Pratt is 6 feet.
I think we already did a look over there, but we'll say thank you again to Rob, Lucas, Maggie over there. A big thank you to, there he is. Yeah, oh wow, he's on both cameras there. A big shout out to Greg in the background. What's up, Greg? And then also.
No, don't shout him out, man.
Okay, don't. Down with you, Greg.
Strike one.
Strike one. Hopefully no strike two coming. Thank you to Trader Prad for holding it down. What a great job.
Oh my God.
For Trader Prad today. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well done today for holding it down. Get well, Ms. V. We will see her hopefully on Monday, and I know we'll see you on Monday. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Trade of the day is coming up. It's your GameStop analysis, so check that out. A $30 move today, right? Top to bottom, GameStop. So it's an exciting one. Thank you for watching. Come back on Monday, 8:30. We'll be here. Have a great weekend. Ciao.